Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to GDQ Hotfix as seen on TV. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. We have a couple great runs tonight, and I'm very, very, very excited for them. But first, I wanted to remind you that GDQ's next all-women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th to the 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. Visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on the event, or use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. I am super, super, super excited about that. And also join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role. You can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use ! We've gone back to the not being able to talk thing, which I thought we were far past. Use ! Discord and Twitch chat for more information on that. With that being said, though, we are going to dive right into our absolutely jam-packed episode for today, right into King Kong. So, French Stallion, if you want to take it away, go for it.
Yes, hello, this is Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. Potential nominee for the longest video game title. We're going to be doing any %, which is complete the game as fast as possible, and should time permit by the end of it, have a little bit of a bonus section at the end, time permitting and all. And I'm joined today in commentary by Sweetola.
Hello, I'm Sweetola. I speedrun Rise of Kong.
Yes, this was the man who got me into speedrunning Kong when I watched him speedrun the inferior Kong game. And I'm also joined by Prophet Black, who has previously been on this show.
Hello, yes, my name's Prophet. I guess I still am a runner and a moderator of this game, so. Yeah,
Prophet was here previously on, I believe...
time capsule with a Smooth, who I believe I saw in the chat. So hello Smooth, how are you?
Yes. So, all things considered, we are ready to start the run, and I'll be explaining it as much as I can and talking about some of the cheeky tips and tricks that you can get through. But yes, starting off, we are ready in 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Woo. You don't have to watch the... Oh no, cool, yeah.
Okay, so the start of the game doesn't exactly do you many favours because it's a 2-minute auto-scroller. The only control you have here is you have to validate your camera settings.
I'm feeling better.
Adventure skip first attempt, that's really good.
Yes. This is a funny one because it's actually... The game can be a bit funny with this because if you don't look at them at a specific angle, it won't give you the option to validate. And that could be... Yeah, and that could be a real nightmare when you were starting off.
Yeah, I've lost many a run to Venture not accepting my input. So luckily it's only at the beginning of the game, so restarting isn't a nightmare. So always a pain.
You guys have a reset like the first minute of the run. Meanwhile, in Rise of Kong, you don't have this. Therefore, Rise of Kong is the better game.
Well, that's a philosophical.
I was wondering when the game battle was going to start.
Oh no, I'm like personally like because Rise of Kong, if I just know it's a really bad game that came out. That's interesting what it's like or anything like that. I believe it's like GDQ 2024. You can watch the run there from the awful block. May or may not be wearing a onesie. It's cool. But, yeah, so Rise of Kong is really just bad. It's a terrible game. I'm just going to try to make as many jokes as I can, saying how it's better than this game, when technically it's kind of not.
Emphasis on the joke part. And you can tell this was
a... for me, because I ran both.
So you can tell this is a 2005 game, because as you can see, the paddles aren't even going in the water.
No, it's technique.
But if you look down, I'm pretty sure one of the guys is wearing the same shoes, like either 2 left shoes or 2 right shoes.
Yeah, the same.
But so I think it's Hayes by the looks of it.
No, he has 2 left feet. Come on now.
Yeah, that's it. So can't dance. Little kids there, right? So this is pretty much the actual official start of the run, where Anne is all in your face, giving you no personal space.
Hey, Jack.
I'm sure many would envy Adrian Brody in this situation, having a Naomi Watts, waking up to Naomi Watts above you.
Yeah, maybe
against the rocks.
with a few more pixels,
but
more polygons.
But this is where I want to talk about the game's, the speedrun's best trick, on keyboard and mouse, if you use the W and A key at the same time, we use diagonal walking. Now, we don't know why, but this lights a fire in your pants and you just move like Sonic the Hedgehog. And this is what we do for most of the runners, Jack, because it's so much faster. It enables so many dialogue skips, and I'll talk about them as we get into it. But it really does make the difference between runs.
Yeah, it's an exclusive PC thing. So on the console versions of the game, diagonal movement isn't the superior movement. So I think it has something to do with if you're hitting double input instead of just walking diagonal, it increases the speed times 2. So.
I think this what it's doing is, from kind of how all the games like this probably did it, it's probably just adding both movement inputs to the same output. So it's like, oh, you're moving forward and left. Meanwhile, instead of being like doing a diagonal, it's giving you both the input speeds. So
like I said, it's exclusively a PC trick. So a console, and even we've tried remapping the PC version to a controller, and even with the controller, it doesn't work either. So.
It's probably just do with how analog compared to like,
This is where the PC Master Race.
Mouse and keyboard.
This is where the PC Master Race debate comes in. Another trick I'm going to show off is a reload skip. I'll fire a few just to demonstrate. But midway through me reloading, if you do an attack, Jack will skip the next part of the reload animation, which is a huge advantage when you're shooting a crab. So, for example, start reloading, swing, and I can get going again. And you'll see the effect this has when I'm starting these crabs coming out of the ocean.
Gotta reload.
You know, you guys are saying that the PC version is the best version. I beg to differ. The PSP version of this game is way better.
Oh yeah, the whole 30 minutes of it.
Exactly.
And this is always a good test of my spear skills, just to see how many I can get in the wood before the crab boss comes in.
Before the big boys.
Now, the big boy spawn is a very delicate timing, because if you go too early, he'll back into the ocean, which can be a huge problem because he regenerates health. So, already starting off, you can go too fast. We're good because we're cornering him against the rocks. And by getting straight up in his face, you can just immediately demolish him. And Prophet will tell you that he used to think Monk when he did this section, he was a cheater.
Yeah, so the current world record holder, I remember watching his runs back when I was learning the game, and I'd see him do it, and then when I would try to do the same thing, it wasn't working, and I was convinced he was cheating. But the trick is to get into the crab's face for some weird reason. It increases the damage instead of you shooting from the distance and playing a little bit safe. So.
Alright, we'll get the shotgun here. Blast this crab in the face. Blast these crabs. Pick up the lever, put it in there. And then we'll use this lever, because for some reason if you do this one, Carl, or Jack Black's character, will run far ahead and open the door with you. Whereas if you do it that one, as the game intends, Hayes will walk over. And you obviously don't want that in a speedrun. And this is a prime example of where you could do, of just how reliant on the AI you can be in this game, because you could do this level perfectly, as I've just done, but the final time will be completely dependent on how Carl behaves. He's come pretty quickly now, but yeah, the AI can be your worst enemy in this game, especially one particular character by the name of Jimmy, and there'll be plenty of time to hate him later.
I'm Jimmy's supporter here.
Yeah, well, you're the Jimmy supporter, so, you know, no guesses for who hasn't actually run this game.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, we don't really know why, but the Jimmy AI is horrendous. He's known for, we call them phantom deaths or ghost deaths. He'll just randomly die if you walk like a meter or two away from him. He also likes to stand on top of buildings and not be able to get down from said buildings after, which can then kill runs, especially in a level called River Plain. So he's just like a baby, yeah.
Just a quick mention, this level Necropolis, this is a level of many firsts in this game for a speedrun. It is our first checkpoint/death skip, it is our first door skip, our first fire skip, and if you've got a really good time, a first opportunity to lose 20 seconds. But yes, so, and it's also got a little bit of RNG that can affect your time, and we'll get into that right now. Wait for the AI. Okay, they're all coming very good. That's nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, leg then.
Spear.
Damn it.
That leg is a little bit weird.
Looks like some kind of graveyard.
They're always weird.
All I can say for certainty at this section is that a millipede will come out of here. But aside from that, you just have to hope you get a good cycle. And let's see if we do get a good cycle. Do we get a good cycle? We did not get a good cycle.
Yeah, it's RNG or whether I think there's 4 or 5 spaces that the millipedes can exit from, but yeah, other than the first one that that Fringe mentioned, it's RNG whether they come out of the other ones. So
now getting a headshot is the key to getting through this section really quickly.
We can go
With the help of the reticle, that can be really helpful. So that was good.
Happy Denim.
I should mention, by the way, one of the defining features of this game when it came out was that it didn't have, by default, it didn't have an ammo counter. But for speedrun purposes, we dictate that this is a rule so we can just be sure that you haven't spliced together a run. And speaking of, here's into our first death skip. Usually we stay behind to fight, but in this situation we're going to diagonal walk far ahead. We're going to ignore Hayes' cries for help. And thanks to diagonal walking, we're able to get so far ahead that we get right past this checkpoint. Carl gets attacked. Sometimes he'll die here, but if not, we'll walk off the edge. And by doing so,
Stay together.
we've spawned here. We've skipped an entire fighting section. We've skipped a waiting section.
3 magazines on back.
And got far ahead in the level. So that was our first checkpoint skip, which went well. And here comes our babysitting section. We're going to wait for Anne. We're going to take on these enemies.
Gotta reload.
So one thing I will mention is
And hang on, sorry, here's a tense moment. We grab the spear, diagonal run far ahead, light the fire, pre-burn, and we run back as quick as we can. This is where diagonal walking plays its key role, because if you did that normally, Anne would have died before you got back. But yeah, sorry, Prophet, go ahead.
so as much as we have there's a few instances where we have intentional deaths, but this game works similar to other Spyro games back in the day, where the difficulty scales on how many times you die, and so the less you die, the more harder the game will be, and obviously the more you die, the easier the game will be.
That is right.
So as much as so intentional deaths are handy, but then they're also kind of makes it harder for the pretty much last level of the game, where Kong will have more health if you've died more in the game. So even unintentional deaths can really put a burden on our runs as well.
I should mention this adaptive difficulty also applies to ammo counts, and that'll play an important part in the run actually later on in a level. I'll explain it, but enemy spawns might also depend on how much ammo you have, and I'll explain when we get to it. Here is a part I don't like. We will do a door skip immediately followed by a fire skip. In fact, you know what? We're going to make a safety save here.
Good old safety save.
We're going to ignore
Also,
the bats. And we're going to crouch. We're going to try and crawl under. And we just about got it. We'll kill these. And we'll prod the wall. Oh, spear broke. But that's okay. We got the fire through. And that is a huge advantage. We're going to ignore the bat here, because for some reason, if you go far ahead enough, the bat will just die. Now what this does, we bring it through, and we burn these bushes, which saves us a lot of time, because otherwise we would wait for Anne to come here, say, look up there, another fire, she'd climb up, he'd babysit her. Now, we've skipped all that nonsense, we're able to get another fire spear, and the advantage to that is, usually while you're swimming through here, you would rely on Anne to cover you from the banks, because of some reptilian swamp crawlers, or crocodiles if you want to know them, even though they're not crocodiles. Because we haven't reached that point, they don't spawn, so we can swim through, and it also doesn't rain. So the fire won't go out, which is a huge advantage, because it means we can throw it to a set of bushes we're about to pass. And all because we managed to bring that fire over from the previous level. And we do that several times throughout the run, including arguably the scariest level in the game, Brontosaurus. That's the trickiest, but it is certainly the most rewarding.
It saves about it used to save about 7-8 minutes, but even now Fringe is pretty much, he saved a lot of time in that level alone, so that's pretty well a 3-minute level now, thanks to Fringe.
Right, okay, we had a bit of a rare moment there where the fire spear didn't fly over, so we are going to be spending a bit longer waiting, but that's okay.
It like despawns. It's a really weird interaction.
Usually that would have burned by now, but that's okay. And we're also going to show another out-of-bounds level skip if this goes. This can be a bit tricky, but this can be done perfectly. I'm going to shoot this. We're going to burn these bushes, and because I'm a bit of a pyromaniac while we're waiting, I'm going to burn these. Now, in this section, you get the sniper rifle off Hayes. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to run up the wall.
Over here.
If we can. We're going to go out of bounds, back in bounds, across that bridge, and into the next level. We skipped an entire
One thing I will say, I kind of find it funny how the guy is announcing his ammo every time. Like, I gotta reload, gotta do this. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's because the game very much assumes. Now, just going to run ahead. We're going to ignore these enemies because we have another death skip here. We're going to avoid shooting those enemies. I'm just going to run ahead. And if you move fast enough, you can even shoot that innocently. Well, he's not very innocent. This is where we allow ourselves to die.
Yeah, so this is another intentional death skip, but this can sometimes be problematic because sometimes the millipedes attack the bat while it's attacking you, which then delays the process.
Yeah, that can be very annoying.
It's happened to me more than I like to admit.
Would it be a speedrun without some RNG?
No, it wouldn't. But we have. I think I like to think I have eliminated most of the RNG. Right, we'll kill those. We'll just ignore the rest of the enemies. There is a chance that Anne could die here, but more often than not, she doesn't. She's actually died more times in no skips than she has in any percent. So make it that way, you will.
Yeah, waiting, because you actually physically have to wait for her, and then she just gets. I think sometimes the AI skips ahead if you've run ahead, but then obviously to maintain they don't die. And
I can try and open it from the top.
Also,
skips, I think you got to babysit them.
Be careful, Anne.
Well, also you have a situation where if enemies are spawned in a fixed area. So, for example, in Brontosaurus, the Venatosaurus will only chase you so far before they'll go back into another area. It's kind of complicated to explain, and it's not relevant because we skipped the whole level. And you mentioned 7 minutes. Brontosaurus is actually, shockingly, you can actually do that level in about 2.5 minutes if you do it fast enough, without the fire skip.
Yeah, but yeah, I think originally it was like a 7-8 minute run, and then I think you really optimized that route, and now it's easy as.
Yeah, not to pat myself on the back too much, but I am something of a legend with this game.
And you wouldn't be there without Rise of Kong.
I gotta give credit to that. Like I said, speed is what got me wanting to do this.
Oh my god.
It's amazing, actually. The best thing to come out of Rise of Kong was that it got me wanting to speedrun a superior Kong game. So this is what the natives do. They will throw a spear at us here. And this is just a waiting point. We have to wait for Kong to come along to pick Anne, and then we have to wait for Carl Denham to come and free us. So now's actually a good opportunity to maybe see if there's any interesting questions in the chat.
It's mostly just people. Sorry, let's say it's mostly just saying about I'm just saying that most people are just saying how like the game is like, you know, they're like forgot how great this game is and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very easy to forget, but it truly is one of the best movie-based games of all time. And this was out when movie-based games were all the hype. Every film that came out had a game based on it.
But this also is very, very different to the actual film itself, where I think the film focuses more on the dramatic aspect of it, and obviously the love triangle that is Jack, Anne, and Kong. And then also, yeah, so then obviously this game, for the action point of it, is way more, it is island heavy, but that's it. You play in New York for about 10 minutes, and that's about it.
There's very little that this game follows when it comes to the film. Like, in the film, Jack isn't here when Anne gets captured. And obviously in a film, the humans never have an encounter with the V-Rex.
Yeah, someone just asked, is this the Gamers Edition?
Asked what, sorry?
Is this the Gamers Edition? Because yeah, I know we have the Gamers Edition. I can't remember. What version are you playing on?
This is the Signature Edition. This is the PS2/GameCube port to PC. The Gamers Edition, I believe, would have been the Xbox 360 port, which is...
Yeah, that's the one I was mostly playing on.
Which is about as buggy as a spider's nest.
Yeah, they fixed things, but they also broke things as well.
But the alternative is, thankfully this version doesn't use Starforce DRM. But I would say I want to say it's a superior version because it has the original art style. And the Kong model looks better, but in some ways it looks worse.
I think the Kong model looks better in the 360 version, to be honest. So.
It's because there's more polygons and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Thank God. You got away from him.
It looks more like the brute from Halo 3.
Did you see that?
Someone wants to know what your PB is, friend.
My PB is 1 hour 44 minutes 41 seconds.
It took
I
Anne.
think it's like a minute off world record.
What?
Or
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah, it's about like a minute and a half.
It's gigantic.
World record for this game is currently by Monka, which is a 1 hour 43:19. So obviously he cheated
Now we're
and
free. Now that we're free, we pick up a Spire Spear, and this is also a level of many firsts. We will have our first encounter with the dinosaur. Now the dinosaurs in this universe are fictional versions. This is a part actually. We knocked down that lantern. We don't know why. We believe that this makes Carl come faster. I don't know if it's actually true or not. I never tested it, but it doesn't hurt to do it because you're otherwise just standing there. But yeah, we pick up a spear. There has been times when I've actually forgotten to put the lever in, so let's get that done. And I don't particularly like this section because it can go wrong, but we're gonna hope it goes right.
There's no other way.
And here comes a Venatosaurus.
Sometimes the Venatosaurus likes to strafe, so then your spear doesn't go in the direction you'd like it to go.
Okay, it's in the fire, so it's gonna die. It's gonna have a roast 6-foot turkey. And this is where the fire spear shows its OP damage. And we have 3. That's good. Oh dear. Right, we're gonna throw this. Okay, that's dead. And we're gonna... This is a bit risky, but this usually works. We're gonna open this before a bunch of mini dinosaurs, smaller Venatosaurus, will come. There they are. This might attack us. It's not going to. We're gonna make it. And we're just gonna leave Carl to get eaten while we make our break for it.
Hi, Carl.
The rest myself.
Yep.
So the way Fringe set up, that was kind of important too. If you have your back around the other way, sometimes the little dinosaurs like to leap at you, then you get damaged, and then the door drops back down to where it pretty well started. So, so the setup there that Fringe did is like the most optimal way you could do it as well.
That was a very good sacrifice, actually. That went about... I'd say that was almost perfect. We're gonna do...
Yeah, that was...
And then we see Kong up ahead. We can't catch up to him. He's gonna swing, and he's gonna run, and we can't jump across the gap. Here is another major checkpoint skip. Usually you would wait for Carl to get swooped up by a giant bat. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna run ahead, and we are gonna have another checkpoint reset, which saves a huge amount of time. Light the spear on fire. Back off. We're gonna ignore them.
A lot of time saves in this game just come from you ignoring any of like the cinematic cues. So you running ahead, even if you play vanilla or casually,
We're gonna burn these
that will
bushes
just save you
because
time on its own.
by burning those bushes, that'll make it a faster journey coming back. And this is a bit risky. We side run across these planks. It's a bit risky, but you know, it's a work of art. This can be a funny bit. Okay, pick up a shotgun. Now, Carl will not actually spawn up there because he's supposed to have got swooped up by the bat. But, doing this...
You touch grass.
Yeah, we touch grass and then we end our life. Now we've respawned here. Carl is there, ready to fight. We wait for a few bats. Oh, I got a 2-on-1 there, that's very nice.
Combo. 2-for-1.
Now the key to getting a fast bat fight here is not just RNG, but you also have to hope that it'll be a 4-shotter. Now that can be determined based on how quickly you shoot it, but you have to let it get close. So as we see here, it's a slow turn. It was very close, it was actually heart-racingly close. But we keep that up and we have a 4-shotter. But if it's not a 4-shot, it'll definitely be a 5-shotter.
And then you just got to make sure that Carl doesn't have a phantom death. This is the one place where Carl has a phantom death a lot.
There's actually ways to avoid that. Once he finishes that line, I found that he pretty much never dies. So if you let him say this island is amazing before you go off, then that's pretty much it. Here's another funny trick, actually. This is something that I discovered.
Last magazine on backup.
Now, if you just stand here, you have to wait for Carl. And this can be a really big time loss originally, because you don't know. Now, if you stand here, Carl will move very, very slowly. But if you move side to side, he lights a fire in his pants and he just comes.
No, he starts doing the truffle shuffle and he runs over.
And he's already here.
Stanky leg.
Chance to get him on film.
Right, Carl is here. So this is all good. And this is, we're getting to an example of how the adaptive difficulty in this game actually benefits you, because we're not going to pick up any more ammo.
Fringe, be careful, you're touching grass.
Okay, now no Carl gets stuck here, but he's not going to get stuck. We're going to throw a spear down there.
Hey, Jack.
Do be careful, make sure he doesn't pick up the spear too. Which is
If he does pick up the spear, there is a bone spear by the first bit. But that won't be a problem because we picked up the spear. And we're going to light
like
it with a
he's gone
fire in
for
the
it
next
too.
part. We're going to light this fire. And also, usually you would have to get bait to all the spiders away from this lever. Not the case here, because we can simply walk outside the wall, press the grab button, and you'll take it. Now, if you double tap it, he picks up the spear, which happens slowly. And the next one is right there. And we're going to use the bait system. Pick up a bone spear. And because these dinosaurs have strange priorities, they're going to go for this little worm in these highly flammable bushes. And we're going to have a 6-foot roast turkey. Now, here's the thing, right? Usually a third dinosaur would spawn here, but I've only got 4 bullets. And I haven't picked up any pistol ammo, so as a result, the third one won't spawn in.
So what you're saying is you're cheating.
It's not cheating, it's playing the game. But yeah, the third dinosaur doesn't spawn in. Now, we're going to have another fire skip here. This is one I discovered. We're going to pick up a shotgun.
One magazine on backup.
Yeah, I will say that Fringe has optimized this level really, really well. I think, originally we never used to take fighters part. We used to kind of play it, you'd almost just say casually.
Prod the wall to get through the waterfall.
But that's another skip you'll find, or another trick that we use quite a bit, is trying to poke the stick with fire on the end of it through the actual environment itself to get it through, take it places we're not meant to take it.
And thanks to that, we're able to burn the bushes. The haze is there. And the power of the shotgun off the cliff. He's dead. And that's it. You won't have to go for the fire for haze, which means you won't have a third dinosaur to fight. There'll be another situation where the adaptive difficulty will be used to stop a dinosaur spawning. We're going to wait for haze to come across. It doesn't matter whether Carl comes or not at this point, because it's inconsequential.
Boy, am I glad to see you alive. Yeah? Well, I nearly wasn't.
He's coming.
As long as someone opens the door with you, then you're fine.
Yes, and Hayes is coming. And I don't believe this would be world record pace, because I've done a safety save twice. So what we're going to do in the next level, it's most likely not going to work, but if it does work, it'll be a nice thing to show off for fundraising. We're going to try a skip. Now, the next level, V-Rex, it's one of those levels that you can't really make go any faster. Unless, of course, you manage to skip it. Now, there's 2 ways of skipping it. The first one was completely random. The second one, not so much random. There is a glitch in this particular edition where if you are fast enough and you have a spear, you can jump out of the dinosaur's mouth before you enter the death animation. And that kind of puts you in a halfway point. But the idea is that hopefully, when it jumps across, we are able to make our way over the gap. And then we can just run to the end of the level. Because once you're over that gap, the dinosaur isn't programmed to attack you there. It'll turn its attention to Carl and Hayes. I wouldn't do this. I would not recommend this because it's not been optimized. But for the sake of a fundraising event, I would say, why not? Why not show off a nice? Why not at least attempt to show it off?
Let's go.
Yeah, so this skip that Fringe is going to attempt is probably the most recent thing we've discovered. So Fringe did this trick on a different level, and then we kind of theorized it working on this particular level, which we have gotten to work a few times, but like Fringe said, the consistency isn't there. So.
Okay, so this is the point we usually be running up here. We're gonna try it once.
Wait, but he's still around here. Oh my God! Run, Jimmy, run!
But if this doesn't work, we're gonna do the level a normal way.
Yeah, the vanilla way. But I said this is a point in the game where it differs from the movie because characters here die in the game where they don't necessarily die in the.
Oh, we didn't do it
in the film.
It looked like
so it didn't work.
It looked like it almost did.
Yeah, I think you look like you got out for a second. So yeah, like Fringe said, you pretty much prod the V-Rex in the mouth, and then he spits you out over the gap, and then you can just walk through to the next level. But now we have to pretty much go collect the lever, open the door, so then you can walk through the exit of the level.
We're going to ignore Hayes' advice. We are just going to stand here. And thankfully our characters are immune to the effects of tinnitus. So the amount of dinosaur roaring in your face is not going to cause you any permanent hearing damage.
That's all fiction anyway. I'm pretty sure they would have just sound like chicken.
We got to get this open.
That would have made Jurassic Park a lot less scary.
Well, not having tinnitus. I mean, that kind of better for not having tinnitus. You know, well, tinnitus, whatever it's called. I can't say it.
There are two situations here. The dinosaur, as you say, it turns into tension. That's why we throw them spears over, just so we can get its attention again. And we basically just locked it into this animation. And we used a musical cue from the soundtrack to determine the right time going through.
Also, I just want to add that the soundtrack's really good. I'll vibe with it.
I think this is the point. Yep, there we go.
There's one particular bit where there's a bird chirping, which they just ripped from Ocarina of Time. Like, it's the same sound effect. And these games came out like 10 years apart as well, so it's kind of funny.
Jack, get over here and hide. Jack, over here.
This should usually be a lot faster if we did normally. It wouldn't have stopped to roar, but that's okay. Now, I remember, I watched some of the recent ones. I watched Prophet's submission a few years ago. There is a reason why it's called a V-Rex and not a T-Rex. That's because when Peter Jackson made the film, he made it an expanded universe. He wanted the dinosaurs to be evolved. So in the King Kong lore, the V-Rex was an evolution of the T-Rex 65 million years later. Now, this doesn't make sense because T-Rex was not native to Southeast Asia, where Skull Island is, but it's not for the sake of copyright. But I just thought that'd be an interesting thing to bring up. You want to wait till the dinosaur's facing that way before you run out, because otherwise you run into a death box. It doesn't actually eat you, you just die for some reason.
Yeah, drop dead pretty well.
You die by dinosaur fart.
Pretty well. Your heart just gives out from the side of it.
Yeah, no, he lets one rip, you know, and then he goes, oh my God, the smell!
Now I like to run over here for a bit because we're waiting for the AI and Carl's going to take his camera out to film this. For some reason, the dinosaur likes to look back at us, but he won't come for us again.
Oh, he's just saying hi, you know. Friend little
Hi.
dinosaur. Also, his head goes through a tree.
Yeah, I was about to say those.
Yeah.
Hurry. Let's go see.
This is another moment where you rely on the AI.
Jimmy,
The Tommy gun, by the way, this is the only time in a run that we actually used the Tommy gun.
this way, Jack.
It's horrible.
It's really not that great of a gun, actually.
So why is it a bad gun then?
Because its damage, its damage is small and it makes up for it in rapid fire. Hayes, do you want to help me open the door? But it just doesn't do very good damage. And the rapid fire doesn't make up for it because then you have to reload. It's just not very good. Casually, it's my favourite gun. Speedrun wise, it's rubbish.
I Oh yeah, when I was a kid using it, I was like, I feel like a gangster in like the 1940s, but yeah, no, it's the worst gun. I think the sniper rifle and even the handgun are probably the two best guns in the game. Like shotgun's still pretty good as well, but I think from a high damage point of view, the sniper is where it's at.
Now I'm going to use diagonal running to just run through this section. No fighting. Absolutely huge advantage. Sometimes you will get bitten.
I can say no fighting, meanwhile still stabbing a dinosaur in the face with a spear. Yeah, no enough fight, punch the guy in the face. Yeah, we're not fighting.
It's not fighting if I've killed him. There was no fight at all.
No, that's just murder.
So I get a bit of a spoiler alert coming up. Next level we'll be playing as Kong, but then also after the Kong level is one of the where you, as Jack, you don't have to rely on the AI as much. There's probably like half hour of the actual game where you're just playing as yourself. So you're not relying on the AI to randomly not die or to open doors or anything. So,
and this is where pistol superiority reigns, because we can just shoot the dinosaurs really fast, quick reloads, and that's that. I like to take the Tommy gun here just to use it up. But as you can see, it does considerably less damage for the amount of bullets that it uses. There is a chance Anne might soft lock here, but I don't think so. Sorry, go on.
There's an ADS feature in the game as well, which we never use.
An ADS?
Like aim down sight.
Oh.
Aim down sight with a gun.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, people tend to forget that, but it's not very optimal.
I mean, it's not very accurate. So it just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It looks like the sight.
Here comes the big bat.
Right.
It is.
And it looks like the big bat is actually soft locked. Right.
Oh wow.
That's no problem.
We never change.
We just say before leaving. This is unfortunately going to set us back.
Well.
But we'll just reload the level.
Yeah, at least you can reload the levels quite easily. So, question. If I was to have the Xbox 360 version of this game, and I was going to go for all the achievements, will I follow this, like as you're doing now, or would you just recommend playing through normally?
I would say just play through normally.
Okay then.
So there was the part of the previous level where he tried to he took the lever, like through the wall. That there's an achievement on its own. You have to like bait them, the spiders will bait, and then take it, and that's the achievement. But with that said though, the achievement might be tied to actually picking up the lever and not actually baiting the spiders. So I don't know how the game's coded.
Very poorly, probably.
Yeah, it was one of the first 360 titles. So.
True. I mean, I just miss the days of Xbox achievements. You know, you got Avatar Avatar the Burning Earth or the Scorching Earth, where all you do is press.
I mean, you missed them. They still.
No, like as in like you buy them from the shop and you go to the mystery of these old days, and not just the generic stuff that gets uploaded to the like Microsoft Store, like shit that was stuff that was actually published. And all you have to do is press like multiple buttons, but meanwhile you just boot up the game. Oh, it took me 5 minutes to get like 1,000 gamer score. Meanwhile, Avatar, you put
there we
the
go.
game
The bat
in.
picked up Anne this time. And
yeah, thank God.
With that, we are going to move into our first Kong section.
Kong!
Monkey. Get a good camera angle there, Fringe, for when it comes. Oh!
Look at Kong. He dislocated his shoulder.
Now, Kong has his own version of diagonal walking. It's literally the shoulder charge.
You also noticed that the bat changed colour between levels.
It did.
It was originally red and now it's blue.
It's because you see through the eyes of Kong, and Kong is colorblind.
He's colourblind. He's like a dog.
Yeah.
That makes the most logical sense.
Colours.
It is. That is long, accurate Kong. I should know. I play Rise of Kong.
No
In
one
the
cares
360 version, the big bats are all the same colour regardless. They're all blue, I'm pretty sure.
They're all the same colour in the PS2 version. For some reason, in this one, the big bats change colour. Now, a lot of people really, this is where practice is very much needed, because mastering Kong on the PC is no easy feat. It's bad enough doing it normally, but then you have to deal with the camera, and in the first Kong level, you have to deal with the time pressure, making sure Anne doesn't get eaten. So this is definitely not a place to be getting perfect runs on your first attempt. I've seen people compare. The streets in New York is the absolute worst level for this.
Oh, the camera's horrible in Streets of New York. Horrendous. There's also like Fringe mentioned though. So the key movement with Kong is you like it's like a what is it, like a smack dash sort of thing. That's like the optimal, like the charge dash.
Yes. So it's in this case it's space bar and left click.
Also, normally there you're meant to get knocked down back the cliff, but somehow I don't know if that's something that
is something.
Or...
That is something I do actually. If you press the space bar as Kong's climbing up, he doesn't get knocked down. It doesn't save a lot of time. Yeah. It's just one of those things.
But...
Now this is a first chance to go into Fury mode. Oh.
The only issue with Fury mode is
it does slow things down.
Slowed down. So.
But you know what? Because it's not PvP and because it's a fundraiser, we'll go into Fury mode anyway. Why not? Let's just wait for the back to swoop down. There'll be plenty of time to go into Fury mode. Right, now you can use the mouse wheel, but I use the delete key. We tap that. Now the screen has a hue, and every punch you have has got a real oof.
You could say it packs a punch.
Oh my gosh.
They don't have like a boots thing.
Again, we don't usually do this in a speedrun, but this isn't a PB pace anyway, so...
I will also note that the reason you have to physically fight all the bats and stuff, so if Fringe tried to open the door behind him, the bats would just attack him, so...
That is right. Let's pick up the bat. There is a way to do this animation where you get walked to the door, but that could potentially block your way. So it's risky, and it's not worth it right now.
The little V-Rexes spawn, I think, after this part here.
Venatosaurus.
Yeah, you literally just run.
Yeah, we kill them just because they're in our way.
Yeah, you actually don't. So the shoulder charge obviously does damage, so they can somehow attack you just by accident sometimes. But and this part can be annoying as well. Sometimes Anne like wants to whoop you. So but.
And there we go. For some reason we couldn't pick her up until we were over here, but you know. Do we have any more questions in chat?
Taking a peek. A lot of people reminiscing about the game, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people saying, like, there's one person said, I still have the PS2 version, and I'm never letting it go. You've got a good luck from Gulch too. He also added me in there as well.
Gulch.
And he's also got a Blood Thunder Wiggle.
Here's a risky point here. We grab this and we use fast movement. We run across here and hope that the bats don't knock us off or that you don't walk off. We can do that with this next one, but I'm not going to do that because it's very risky. I'm going to do it the normal way. I'm going to run over here, get some bait, throw it down there, so all the bats go down there, pick up a bone spear, and we're going to run across, avoid the fight, and we're just going to keep running.
Yes, that was super risky what Fringe did there. Like, yeah, the bats, it is, they can knock you off. Sometimes the bait they just ignore it and then go for you instead and pretty much knock you off, or the bridge goes away from underneath you and falls you to death, and then you got to redo it all over again.
Yeah, it's very delicate movements, and this is a very iconic part in the game, where as we swim through here and the rumble.
Someone's asking, someone's asking if there's a guide for the game. I pretty much would just suggest watching either Monka or Fringe's like PBs or world records. But on the speedrun.com, we do have a written guide for the speedrun as well. So.
And Monka also has a dedicated tutorial.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of date.
Yeah, I rented it out of date in like a day.
Yeah, so but for learning the basics of the run, it's a good way to start. But then to get to either Monka or Fringe's level, I definitely would watch their speedruns.
Yeah, part of why I speedrun this game is because I have such an intimate knowledge of it, and I played it so much, I don't think there was any other way I could have gotten better. Here's a bit of an RNG thing, or I don't know if it is, or if it's just positioning. We're going to swim through here, hopefully not get attacked by millipedes. We didn't get attacked, that's great, it missed us. So we're just going to shoot through, diagonal run, shoot through, shoot, and there we go. Now we just have to hope that the game calls them scorpions, but they look more like earwigs. We're just going to have to hope its spawn isn't in our way, so it doesn't grab us. That's not ideal, but that's okay, we made it through. Throw the bait. You can still hear the seaplane because we're so fast. And now, we move on to what I think is the absolute worst level of the game for a speedrun. Because it is very reliant on the AI, it's a babysitting section, and there's a fire skip, and there's a setup for a fire skip that if it goes wrong, you pretty much lost the run if you're on a PB pace.
There's actually 2 skips on this level. So this first part, we have something what we call millipede skip. So after this section here, sometimes Carl and Hayes don't spawn for they have to open a door that crabs come out underneath. But sometimes they don't spawn, so you can just run ahead.
I think that depends on how fast you go. And in fact, do you know what? I think I will demonstrate that right now. The door should open right about now. Okay, no, I don't think I'm going to make it.
2 magazines on back.
I'm just seeing things in chat now. People talk about diagonal movement. But yeah, on the PC version of the game, Fringe can be diagonal moving. You did explain at the start. I'll see people just join in now. So Fringe is moving diagonal. It moves a lot faster. It's only for the PC version for mouse and keyboard. You cannot do this on controller or anything like that.
Oh, this is not very good.
Oh no.
The bats ignored the... Well, that was unfortunate. The bats decided to ignore the bait and they swarmed me. And that's a shame because...
Okay.
Yeah, so...
That's not very common. That rarely happens, but it is very annoying. And that was a shame as well because it was actually a very good spawn. Carl and Hayes turned up immediately. Right, you go away. Yeah, sorry, you were explaining diagonal walking. Yeah, it's basically a double input for some reason, and it allows us to do a lot of the fast movement, and it enables so many of the death skips. It's kind of a gamble, so I generally don't use millipede skip. But I think it's such an awful level that...
Yeah, it's not... no, it's not about swamps. Swamps is the worst level. I hate swamps.
I actually don't think swamps is that bad. There's actually a certain way of doing swamps that pretty much...
Not cap.
Gets it done right a lot of the time. I'll explain it to you. But this is where we're about to set up another fire skip. This is a fire skip that is... It's not hard, but it can be quite daunting for a first time. There's a part 1 to it, and don't shush me, Hayes. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Right, okay, so we shoot this down. Ignore the fighting. That's not very good. And this is the part where the AI might just decide not to play ball. In fact, you know what? I'm going to make a safety save here just because...
Save, yeah. I think also people in chat need to remember that this game has adaptive difficulty. So Fringe dying there has essentially made the game easier, which isn't necessarily good for like the end of the game.
Okay, that's good. The AI is defending themselves. Okay, here's part 1 of the best fire skip in the game. A crab pinched me on the bottom.
Jack, I got nothing for you. Hang on.
Okay. Now this is good. Now we prod the wall. This is the tricky one, but we have to prod the wall and follow along in order to carry this fire into Brontosaurus. Now that level is infamous for following the Brontos, killing dinosaurs and needing to carry fire all the way back. If this goes well...
Don't get to her in time.
Okay, this is part 1 done. Now assuming this goes well, we move to the wall, throw the fire somewhere around about here. We walk through, and we've got it through the waterfall,
Well done.
which means the entire level has been skipped.
Just don't get stepped on by a Brontosaurus.
No.
Which is absolutely fantastic. That That is an entire 3 to 7 minute section that's been skipped.
Well done, Fringe.
I'm not
Yeah,
pretty
so
much
obviously in the
like
any percent no skips category, you have to play the level.
But it's not a hard level, it's just a bit scary.
No. Yes.
Wait, do you mean to tell me in a category called 80% no skips, you're not allowed to skip?
Magazines.
Shockingly, no.
Believe it or not, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Weird,
Now,
right?
this is a dreaded level. This is Jimmy because you can get a soft lock here. So we move ahead. You can
So this
ignore.
is where you meet the infamous Jim. There we go.
Ah, good old Jim boy.
Now, you can ignore the bats here. You can actually ignore the bats here. They will try to attack you, but they'll never damage you. Ow. Thank you, Hayes.
Jack, I got nothing for your wounds.
Jimmy just told me to hide before he was meant to.
We spoiled it. Now we know he's there.
Okay, now this is where the game could possibly soft lock, depending on what Hayes does. But you know what? If this goes right, you can really show off your good shooting skills here.
Man, look at these no scopes.
Sometimes Jimmy doesn't want to get on the raft either. It's no matter how well you play the level, and then you have to reset. So yeah, I've lost a couple of runs here where Jimmy's like, oh, I don't want to get on the raft today. Kind of thing.
He's scared of it. It's a spooky raft.
Yeah, he's scared of water.
True. Well, he's scared of the grass. Look at that grass over there. That can kill you.
Okay, this went well. Hayes told him to get on the raft. Jimmy got on the raft. Okay, so it didn't skip. Now, we're going to do another skip
Good
here.
on, Jim Bob.
This is another skip here. This is so far the only skip that requires us to leave the game and save progress, because we haven't quite found a way to do a death skip for this yet. But what this does is it skips a waiting section. Now, you'd run ahead to here, and you would have to wait in this section for Carl and Hayes. It is faster to quit, save, and re-enter, and immediately letting us out. And this is also where we're going to take advantage of the game's adaptive difficulty, because, like I said earlier, depending on your ammo count, an enemy may or may not spawn. Now, by the end of this section, you'll have a large dinosaur, a Venatosaurus, that will spawn, but there is a shotgun nearby with a very low ammo count, so once we killed enough of these, we're going to pick up the shotgun. Ow.
Keep going.
Hayes told us to keep going. Now, usually a Venatosaurus would spawn there, but because of the low ammo count, the game didn't spawn it in because of the adaptive difficulty. And here's another fire skipper, yeah? If you aim it right, you can throw that over, and you can pre-burn some bushes. It's pretty tricky, actually.
The fire's burnt a path we can take. Let's go.
Let's see if I've got it. I got that one. I didn't get that one, that's unfortunate, but I'm not very good at that anyway. Ow. Okay, that's done. So we run across. You don't want to get on the raft too early here, because then the game will actually soft lock. We pick up the spear. Right, Jimmy's stuffed.
Okay, it's reloaded.
I've been in line about Jimmy. He's been very cooperative so far.
He has been very cooperative.
I just think you guys just.
Wait till to the plane.
Nah, I think you guys are just Jimmy haters, man. I think Jimmy's like the top bloke, you know.
That's
See,
that's,
what you're
coming from a
basically.
Jimmy stand.
See, the thing is, Swede, you're basically telling us that you don't run this game without telling us you don't run this game.
No, because I run a better con game.
Okay, I don't think you do.
I do.
Not like you've mentioned that 15 times already.
I will die on this hill.
Preston and the others.
Survival Rise of Kong is a great game. I haven't touched it. I've been gifted it by Street.
Troy dead. All of them. I'm the last one.
So yeah, we're coming up to the auto
shouldn't have
scroller
come,
section
Jimmy.
of the game. So that's like
This is
2
no
levels
place
of
for
auto scroller.
kids.
So
Yes.
I ain't a kid. I survived this long on my own, didn't I?
Surprised he's not filming here, you know. There's some great shots.
And this is the point where I think we can take a short break as requested by the host. Nichole?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much. So, chat, just a real quick thing before we do take a break. Sorry about that. All right. My mic fell. If you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix, check out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at theyeti.com/GDQ. It's very cute. It has coupon. It has all the shows from Season 4, including As Seen on TV. And also, speaking of Hotfix, if you go to gamesdonequick.com/Hotfix, you can check out this season's schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's. Welcome back to GDQ Hotfix As Seen on TV. We're going to go right back into the run in just a second. Real quick, though, I wanted to remind you, tune in to Speedruns 2025 from February 27th to March 2nd, benefiting doctors of the world. If you use !Speedruns in chat, you can learn more about that. With that being said, we're going to dive right back into Peter Jackson's King Kong. So, Fringe Stallion, it's all yours again.
Thank you very much, Nichole. We're just going to get immediately into this. I'm just going to do a countdown and we can just restart the timer in 3, 2, 1.
Where's Miss Darrow?
And the next 2 levels here is just basic auto-scrollers. If you mess up on these levels, then I question your ability as a speedrunner, all things considered. I think you'd be hard-pressed.
Well, you're not really speedrunning here, you're just casually playing the game, so I wouldn't question your...
Surviving.
You know, it's like speedrunning Dead Rising without the mod. You're just enjoying the 6 hours of waiting.
But this is a very good opportunity to practice spear throwing, especially since spear throwing is a crucial part of the level, because you'll have to burn some bushes. The interesting thing is that the crosshairs do not aim directly for it, because then you'll just... Oh, well, I couldn't have got that one anyway. Thanks, Carl.
You got the snipe.
Yeah. Now, we just keep absolutely spamming in the hopes that we manage to throw a spear over far enough that we can pre-burn the bushes, but it's no big deal if we don't manage, because like I said, the raft is a constant speed. Right, okay, so we didn't get it.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no way we've figured out to speed up the raft or somehow exit the raft and walk through the water. So we kind of, for the next 2 levels, literally just locked to
I think
like an A4 size platform.
I actually don't think walking through the water would make things faster. I think this would be one of those streams where you just absolutely walk through, where you tread lightly.
Yeah, unless you can like physically like touch the floor, if there is a floor.
I was going to say, it's probably not a floor there. If you're just meant to be on this raft, it's probably, you know, as a design standpoint, not have a floor.
You go out of bounds.
I think that would be true, actually. Because there is an occasional glitch in rapids where you can get off the raft and walk through, but then you just immediately fall through the floor. I don't know if this is only in the Xbox 360 version, but it's definitely possible somewhere. Let's see if I can hit this millipede all the way up there. I couldn't. That was a very good attempt. That wasn't a very good attempt.
You also noticed that the millipede wasn't on the wall at all. It was kind of like floating.
Is the magical millipede?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a...
Well, in this
I was
game,
going to say centipede then, but no. My brain went straight to centipede then. It's like, no, it's millipede.
Well, in this game, they're called megapedes because they are mega huge, which makes total sense, actually.
Or because they'll be a mega pain.
They're not that painful. Second easiest enemy to deal with. Are they? Actually, I don't know about that.
So whether they're the enemy you fight the most.
I mean, I can see that. I've seen them more in the speedrun than anything else.
They are the second enemy you get introduced to, actually. The crabs you barely see again. I don't think you'll see the crabs anywhere else.
Yeah, the crabs are gone. Millipedes was the last time we saw them, so when they come under the floor.
I don't think we'll be seeing the crabs again. You would normally see the crabs in Banatosaurus, but we do skip half that level. I just like burning bushes in this game because, like I said, I'm a bit of a pyromaniac in King Kong. But pleased to say not so much in reality. But it's really satisfying to burn bushes in this game. That's all I'll say.
This is the thing, right? If you touch them, you will die, because therefore, as you proved earlier, by touching anything that's green, like grass or bushes, you will die. So therefore, burning them, you're saving a gamer's life.
It's like the movie The Happening, where the bushes are sending signals to your brain that makes you want to jump off things.
I think that's called hay fever.
Oh, damn, what sort of hay fever you guys get?
Listen,
It's like a UK exclusive.
nah, that sounds more like an English thing. Though here in Wales, we don't have that type of hay fever. You know, we just get really runny noses, but apparently in England it's different.
And here's our second rack level, where we have 2 V-Rexes. This is the only opportunity in the game where you might be able to make a V-Rex fall through the earth. It's not technically dead. Oh, I can't attempt to fake with that one. I can't attempt to... I thought we were going to go into the arch before then. Whoops.
Fringe. I'm sorry, I got to question your legitimacy as a speedrunner because you died during the auto-scroller.
I can't... I did say that. Those are my own words. On a charity event as well, of all things.
It's okay. I got enough magazines.
But also, I think Jimmy was in my way. See, if you get under this raft, the Rex can get stuck.
You died straight away. That was your own fault.
No,
Don't blame Jimmy.
It seemed like the V-Rex was more forward when you died as well. So. He was speedrunning.
Look, the T-Rex was the true speedrun of the entire stream.
When's the T-Rex come? We have V-Rexes. No one's T-Rexes we're talking about, though.
I'm sorry. The V-Rexes.
The Vastatosaurus Rex. The Ravager Lizard King. Right, are we going to get it? Are we going to get a V-Rex to fall through the air? Oh, no, we're not, because I killed the bat, so it's just looking at it right now, so it's not going to go for it.
That was his lover.
Yeah.
That was his friend.
It's like...
Oh, I've actually never seen this.
Oh, well, in my save Kong run, the one on the left actually went back for Hayes at some point because Hayes fell off.
Oh, there we go. He snapped out of it. He's coming back.
Yeah, he realised that his friend was gone. He was there taking a moment of silence.
Oh, I got it. Oh, no. Pick up a spear. Jimmy, get out of the way of the spears.
Leave Jimmy alone.
Like Jimmy.
That's not Jimmy. You should, that's the unit. Look, you died on this level. Blame Jimmy, right?
Well, we can always blame Jimmy.
Jimmy's in chat.
No, Jimmy's not dead.
No, just he's dead to me. So.
Oh no, the other one's.
I don't appreciate this Jimmy hate going on here. All right.
Slander.
Oh, where's Carl gone?
He's gone to the Burger King.
Going to film.
No, he's gone to the Burger King. That's on the island. He's going to get himself a Whopper.
Screen shake the game, which is so accurate.
Oh my God, it's Kong in the hit game Skull Island: Rise of Kong.
Oh,
here's that boy.
Funny screen glitch. This always happens.
There you go, screen shake the game. And so there's that boy Harambe.
What was Kong?
Now this is going to be the fastest fight in the game.
Yo, look at the grass. Look at the grass, boy.
Gonna put on down.
It's nice that the VRX let you just beat your chest in front.
Yeah. No, he had a scratch. He just had a good scratch, you know.
There we go.
So there's actually a minor time save here. So because Fringe defeated the VRX so quickly, he doesn't have to watch. There's like 2 cutscenes like this, so he actually skips the first one, and then we have to watch this one. So.
And the good thing is, 99% of the time that will work. 99% of the time, the Rex won't be able to charge you before you've gone into Fury mode. That is pretty much a guaranteed strat. That is pretty much guaranteed. And V-Rex fights are hit and miss. We're going to ignore these little ones. You can take as long as you want with this, by the way, and will never get eaten until you actually make it there. Now, we do a dive onto the one on the left, and we're going to hopefully charge one into the other to get a quick knockdown. Didn't happen, so I'm probably going to get bullied now.
Or Kong.
Yep.
Getting bodied.
Okay, well there's one over there. Okay, but that didn't... That was a bit messy.
Yeah, sometimes when he's trying to defeat the VRXs, the other ones can charge you, which then you have to reset the process as well.
But the V-Rexes are very courteous. When you're killing one of their allies, they will gladly just sit there and roar at you.
They're just like screaming, "No, my friend, why?"
Transylvania?
I don't know.
Glad the Impaler.
And now we move on to proper speedrun level, swamps. And I want to show why this is. And I'm going to
Brett
show.
doesn't live here, if anyone's curious.
Well,
I was going to have a question.
Boys.
Well, I was going to ask then, would Shrek be here? Because thankfully his swamp. Yeah, probably eaten by a V-Rex.
Was it a crocodile?
Oh, Kong.
Will a bat spawn here? A bat will not spawn here, so there's a good chance I might die. So if you approach that from a bad angle, a bat won't spawn. Which means this one's going to eat me now. But I can break free. And it looks like it might actually eat me. Yep. Oh dear. That's another... Even if I do get bitten, I can easily avoid it. But it was not going to be the case. You know what, Prophet? I agree. This isn't the worst sniper in the game now.
Keep your
Yeah,
weapons dry.
I mean, like,
No, I just got really unlucky. If you stick to the right, the bat will spawn. I think I just approached it at a bad angle.
Was it a crocodile?
Not like any crocodile I've ever seen.
yeah, no, the reason I think this is the worst because there's so much, once you're in the
And the
water,
bat didn't spawn again.
the AI is just horrendous.
There's nothing I can do. Okay, I've never had that happen twice. This
You might have to
is...
stand at the bank and see if you can snipe them. Or like bait them out.
Looks like it's time to get wet, boys.
If the bat doesn't spawn, I think I will have to do that.
In any normal circumstances where you like, no, screw this, run's done. But
Yeah.
Well, friend, I will say one
Okay,
thing.
there we
You
go.
did say the line. You did say this never happened before.
Okay, so now one of them... Okay, one of them will still go for me. There can only be two in here at a time. But that's okay. And usually you heal fast enough. There we go, we finally made it across. That was just insanely unlucky. I've never actually had it happen twice.
That's okay, I got enough magazines.
Yeah, it's just marathon luck, doing a marathon showcase of the game and well, a showcase of the game, and so it has to happen.
Yeah. I still maintain that this is not as bad as Prophet makes out.
no, it's horrible. Like,
I just like.
I think it might be
level.
because of this next section here where Hayes might die. Here's the thing, if you kill some of the animals beforehand, he won't be able to get attacked. So this one right here,
wish I thought of that.
okay, well he's already taken on that one. This one, we're taking on that one. We keep moving, take on this one. This is a bit scary. And we've made it here. So Hayes is now going to get attacked, but that's okay because with the power of diagonal walking, we can run ahead to the next checkpoint before Hayes dies. And in no skips, this is like well over a minute or so, so...
Fire.
Yeah, I just see one of the things in the Twitch chat. One goes, "I've never had that happen twice. Never had most people eaten by crocs."
You're in the... I got enough magazines.
Right, okay, now this is usually... Now, the AI isn't usually so bad that you will die here, but let us see what this game brings for us. You might get bitten, but not straight up die.
You see, normally this part, playing casually, you're meant to stand on like the sniper's nest and everyone's going to go through and then they cover you. But we don't like... We like going first in this game, so we prioritise ourselves.
Okay, and here's our next Kong level, and here's our, so far, our only Kong skip. We want to make sure the enemies are killed here. Throw that away. If you go... Now, usually what you have to do here is you have to climb that pillar, put Anne down, fight some enemies. If you... Now, we can skip that, go far enough to the left here, and we can glitch up past that and run straight to the waterfall.
Like
So
how
we
the
skipped
camera
an entire
is just
section there.
going in circles here.
Freaking
The
out.
camera is a bit bad because you're not... The camera's locked on Anne. And Anne would usually be on foot there. This is what it should look like.
Oh, through the floor.
No, not through the floor.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's like quite normal for games these days, but again, this game's made back in the day, so it's clearly had better polish and quality.
But yeah, that saves a huge amount of time because you skip an entire fighting section.
I don't think we mentioned, but it was, like, I remember it was made, but it was definitely published by Ubisoft.
I mean, that explains it. But then again, this game was the reason why, like, something bad happened on the 360 because of a shadering bug or something.
Try to pick that up real quick. This can be a bit annoying because if you're not fast enough, you might get swarmed, and that'll take a lot of time. Not the case here. We managed to get off. We managed to get Anne up there.
But if you do get swarmed, you just like suplex all the stuff that's hanging off your back.
It's often possible to skip up there, but this doesn't actually save a lot of time. And the bats can really hinder you. But we're going to go for it anyway. No, he didn't get it. We can try again. A lot of bats here.
Well, you could say the bats are like a boomerang. They'd be like a batarang, so they keep coming back.
Coming back.
I am not sorry. I'm going to try my best to pick as many bad puns as I possibly can.
It's okay.
Sorry about the end.
We love bad puns over here.
I get very big signals here.
Let's get this log. Let's take on these Venatosaurus in the corner. Now, this is another single V-Rex. Oh, dinosaur just walked off the cliff there. No, you don't. Here's another interesting section here. We don't fight the V-Rex proper. Kong, grab it.
Aw, Kong's giving him a kiss on the cheek.
Kiss him.
Aww,
Okay, I don't know why,
nice.
but Kong wants to grab the pillar. Kong, grab the dinosaur.
You could say...
That is a messed up part of Kong's AI. You can only grab a V-Rex once, and then Kong just wants to grab something else. But that's okay, we made it through.
Yeah, so throwing the V-Rex is a huge time save. There's a part later on that you throw up to 2 V-Rexes off a cliff, which saves you from doing a whole animation.
That's right.
Now, this is the best level of the game coming up.
The log. It's possible to fall off the first time, but it's a bit tricky. I think standing about here. But if you fall off the first time, you cannot move because then you'll have a weird death and it'll start the level again.
So, no mean to brag, but I actually have the world record for this level.
Damn.
Okay, we didn't.
You are a true speedrunner.
Yeah, bloody oath.
It's worth a flex.
So, as far as the game comparison to the movie is concerned, Hayes actually dies there.
It is a pity that the chasm was never made into a proper level.
No, with all the insects and stuff crawling out and stuff.
That would have been great potential. If ever this game got a proper remake.
To be fair, though, that is probably one of the most violent portions of the film. So. Especially when Andy Serkis gets eaten by that worm.
Yeah. Those basically animated stomach. Which in the lore are known as Carnictus, which means the meat weasel. Fun fact. Do you know what's funny? The film had a mockumentary about Skull Island, as if it was a documentary, as if it was about the wildlife. It was really great. Right, back to a Kong level. Let's see if we can get a double throw here. Right, I keep forgetting how to work Kong. Okay. This level also has an infamous glitch that we call the white screen of death.
Oh, yeah. It only normally happens when you're on a really good pace as well. So.
We think there might be a way to avoid it. I think there is a good way to avoid it. But we will have to see. We just ignore the natives here.
I never really understood why Kong's so affected by their spears. Like, he takes so much knockback damage from them.
I know. Chad V-Rex can tank all the spears and be a porcupine. And then you have Kong, who can be taken out by easy ones. The reason we put Anne down there is because she suddenly climbs a lot faster. So as you can see, she's already made it to the top. And this is another part. This is a bit of a tricky throw. You have to get it down the first time. But this should be the right angle. So you're going to attack by a bat. Throw the log. And for some reason, it's got a wide hitbox. But we managed to kill the bat for her. So she's just going to carry on climbing.
Yeah, if you miss, you just have to wait. Yeah, you gotta wait for her to finish to kill it pretty well.
Do we have any other questions in chat? Any?
Actually, yeah. So what other games do you run?
I used to run Dead Rising, but aside from that, I've only ever ran this game. I am going to look into expanding my speedrun horizon, but right now I'm just going to be focusing on trying to get the world record back for this category. And here comes the dreaded white screen of death. We think to avoid this, you just simply not jump too early. So we're here. And we didn't get it. We're rolling.
Game.
Ooh. And we do this. Oh, Rex knocked us off. And here is to save Anne, which was one of the scariest levels back in the day because you were going up against the V-Rex with nothing but spears. However, there is a glitch in this version where it's practically a non-threat. It's actually practically a non-factor.
I'm coming to get you.
There's a chance it might not happen, but it always happens the second time.
No.
And this is where diagonal movement really works here, because we move a lot faster. So if we moved normally by now, the Rex will be breaking down that barrier. But as you can see, we're far ahead, and it's only just started. We're going to get his attention.
So from my experience with this level of the run, it's like it can be a bit of a run killer.
Not anymore.
If you don't manage, yeah, but or back in the day, if you didn't manage the actual spears opposed to the bone spears, sometimes the damage isn't enough for the bone spears for it to get like knocked back on the V-Rex. So.
All right, now let's see if this goes into a glitch state. It's going for Anne. Yeah, as you can see, it's going into that animation where it tries to eat her, but because it's too far away, for some odd reason, it won't do it. Sometimes that won't work, but then you just get its attention. Okay, and because of that, we don't have to distract him. We can just go straight to our next door skip, against the wall, crouch, move through the door. We have to toggle in and out with a crouch and use the diagonal movement here. Bit awkward, but move through, and we've made it through the door, no need to wait. Move through here fast enough. And because if you move through the door fast enough, for some reason, the Rex doesn't come through. It'll just be turning back and forth at the door, so you can wait as long as you want and it won't go for it. But this is a speed run, so we're not going to wait as long as we want.
Give me your hand! Give me your hand!
And yeah, that's pretty much optimised that level. So no more scary spear strat. Unless you're playing the Xbox version.
For a hand, Mr. Driscoll.
Yeah, now we meet up with a Jimmy and Hayes. And now we on to the Ventosaurus level, which...
that is not the case, we move on to the cave.
Oh yeah, sorry, the cave, then Ventosaurus, which I believe is our last fire skip.
I believe it is, actually.
Where's Lumpy and Preston?
The cave is another interesting level. It shows just how quickly diagonal movement can break the game. Well, not break the game, but it shows you just how far ahead you can get.
Look out!
So Kong's hand will come down, and we can walk into it. It doesn't do anything.
And it kind of
Run
blocks
along the
you.
wall. Yeah. Now, usually, as you go around this corner, Anne would climb the wall and you would see Kong with a happy face as he's looking at it. Because we're so fast, it's just a blank hole.
You could say Kong is just monkeying around.
I'll go first.
You could say that.
Are you keeping a counter of your bad puns, or?
I got 3 so far.
Right, time for Venatosaurus. This can be a bit of a scary level for me even up until now because you encounter a juvenile V-Rex which is killable, but just barely. Pick up the shotgun.
Take shelter up there.
Now this is mostly just a shooting phase. I wish there was a way to skip this.
Yeah, we have tried going ahead, but they always die.
It's always Jimmy.
It's not possible. Yeah, without fail.
Stay covered.
In fact, Jimmy might still die, actually.
Yeah, Jimmy's really bad for, yeah, like so what we call phantom deaths, ghost deaths, but he just gives up. I think it's actually worse after Hayes dies. So he actually might just die from heartbreak because Hayes is like his mentor. So
Yeah.
It's understandable. You still have V-Rex from the Wrath level. He just stared when his friend or lover died in the river.
yeah,
Very common on Skull Islands.
yeah.
I have more sympathy for the Rex. Now, once you...
Jimmy.
Now, this isn't a too difficult level, but it just gets a bit scary because of the sheer amount of Venatosaurus. They are one of the most intimidating enemies in the game. But the power of the shotgun will help you out. Sorry, go on.
But the reloading of the shotgun is quite slow as well. So if you get stuck in the animation while they're grabbing you, it's not very good. Like you have to like melee out of it for them to like spit you out.
That's why I like to reload between them. Okay, now I think going up here before the young Rex spawns, I think this is key to making sure Jimmy doesn't die. We're going to stand here because 2 Venatos will spawn here, so we have to face away.
Down there, Jack.
2 dinos, 1 bullet.
They always come back.
Which now means we just have to deal with the young Rex. Now it's very tanky, we can kill it, we got enough ammo to kill it. Okay, that's
Sometimes
done.
you kill it quicker if the other people help, but it looks like they were just
Right.
kind of watching.
Now is Jimmy going to have a ghost death? No, he's not. Jimmy is going to behave himself. Now we go into this part of the level where we can get the lever, but we're also going to get the fire here. Blimey, that was a tanky one. Now here's the funny thing, right? Because the enemies are dead, they're just going to ignore you down here, so we're just going to run ahead. Alright, don't mind me, just going to pick this up. Hi, hi.
I'm happy that you told us this is the last magazine on backup.
And now we're going to do our final fire skip. We're going to crouch and prod the floor as we go underneath this waterfall. I don't trust Jimmy not to wreck this. Prod the floor, prod the floor, prod the floor. And there we go. And we basically skipped the other half of the level doing this, which is a huge time save, the second biggest in the game so far.
Yeah, you would normally run off to the right, and that's where you get fire, and that's also where you find crabs. But
Sorry, my mistake. This is our last fire skip in the mud, but we carry it over from Venatosaurus.
yeah,
So I guess it still counts. Now, in the mud is a rather interesting skip. If you're fast enough, you can kill the big bat and skip it. Now, this is usually another death skip or a checkpoint skip. But if you're fast enough, you can skip even that. You can have a death skip, as I like to call it. This is an opportunity to get the Tommy gun. We're not going to do that. We're going to run ahead. Bare knees.
Careful. Step back.
So if it's a
So
death
this,
skip, would that make the
skip that
Jimmy is incapable,
guess so,
incapable of defending himself. I don't think we're going to get the skip now.
Listen, we have just established Jimmy's just very upset they lost his mentor. Come on now.
but hasn't lost him yet.
I don't know, could have lost him. I don't know. I don't know this game.
So we're going to run ahead. Now, usually Hayes would start crying for help here, but we're so far ahead.
Help me, Jack.
Okay, Hayes is actually dying, but that's okay. This is the second best thing that can happen. That's okay. That hasn't happened to me for a while because I've used them faster, but regardless, we're now here.
We have a better view of things from up there.
So we don't have to escort them across the water. We have a big bat. Very intimidating, right? Not so much.
I got the bat is just progressively getting higher every bullet.
Yeah, knockback.
It's a very powerful rifle then.
Shoot that. And believe it or not, if you manage to do that fast enough, if you manage to kill the big bat and those smaller ones fast enough, you can do it before Hayes will even die. So you skip that entire death skip. I wouldn't. It doesn't matter though. That was the second best outcome.
As I say, before we leave this level, so originally we found the skip that Fringe was trying to do during our My Time Capsule run in 2022. So it's a bit of a GDQ. It's like a GDQ named skip there pretty well.
We don't have to wait here. We can just move ahead. And we have another checkpoint / death skip in this next. That's never happened before. Actually, no, I think it probably has. It's no big deal.
I was about to say,
Several
like, not
firsts
again.
going on.
GDQ first.
So GDQ curse, man.
A hotfix first.
Okay, now here's
it's
an
called a
interesting
GDQ
skip.
curse.
This is called Kong skip. This is what I discovered.
This Englehorn!
But why would you want to skip Kong?
A stretch of water. He'll be able to land.
There you go, faster.
But Kong.
Okay, now what we're going to do
Okay.
is usually what's happening is we go to the plane, the V-Rex breaks out, and we get run up the hill. We're not going to do that, we're just going to run up ahead. Once again, thanks to the power of diagonal running. This is a relatively new way of doing it, but it's slightly faster. Hayes will talk to you like you're still being chased, but that's not the case here.
Hurry up, Jimmy!
And we use a bit of an out-of-bounds glitch here. Now, the key part of doing this skip is that we have to go under the arch. Not that arch. The checkpoint is triggered here. We go under here. I like to run along the back wall for safekeeping. Run out. And there's a little weird part of the rock here where if you run up against it and then press the C button, you crouch and go over it. And then just fall into the bushes and you die. Now, let's see if this works. It has worked. We've basically skipped a huge part of the level, so that now we are basically just covering Anne, which is a huge advantage because Prophet has probably had a soft lock where the dinosaur gets stuck and doesn't go around. So
Yeah, many a time.
now this is a bit of an annoying section. We have to hope the dinosaur pays attention to the bats. It doesn't. Another example of adaptive difficulty in this game is if you die twice, Anne won't have to deal with any bats. But it is a bit unfortunate. The reason I waited for the dinosaur to eat that bat is because you can kill the bat and it'll still go for it, even though it'll never reach it.
Someone just posted in Twitch chat saying, someone should inform the Olympic Committee about the advantages of diagonal running. I mean, not wrong.
Okay, that was very lucky that the dinosaur wasn't going, oh!
Please help us!
It's right there.
Kong! Kong!
Oh my god, so close.
It was very close, it was very scary, but it's managed.
Hang on!
Anne! Get back down! Get to safety!
Kong
You'll
mentioned.
be killed!
No, wait, Kong mentioned in a Kong game?
Oh my god, crazy. Ah, there he is. Look at our boy Kong.
No! Keep your
Roll
hands
credits.
up!
Yep.
And here we go. Goodbye, Hayes. Squish.
Mr. Hayes!
I'm gonna wait for it.
There you go, now his mental's dead.
He's actually lucky because in the actual movie he died like 20 minutes ago.
I'm going to charge. Just keep charging with Fury mode. It's actually good movement because it puts us close to the door. We'll quickly kill this Rex. And if you're fast enough, it feels awkward at first, but we're fast enough, we can start moving this pillar in the cutscene. And if you know the game well enough, I was basically moving in the cutscene blindly, and I basically skipped that whole section.
Like how Anne just went straight through the ceiling, well, the thing there.
Now these bats are originally blue in the PS2 and Xbox versions. For some reason it's brown here.
I'm just colorblind. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you keep seeing different colours.
Yeah, it's not, the colours aren't consistent.
Listen, it's the gas came from the V-Rex. It gave psychedelic effects to Kong, therefore he sees different colors.
Yeah, you're really pushing it here, homie.
Well, Island does weird things to a man.
This is the coolest part, though, by the way. Slow-mo.
Oh, yeah. The only slow-motion shot in the game.
Yeah, weirdly.
Yeah, that's when Kong went over the gas, you see. On the
now we have
Island.
to fight 2 bats here. Well, I say that, we have to fight. Here's one. Throw the glog. Send that one down into the ground.
So this is probably the most action-packed Kong level as well, where you have like, I think there's 5 or 6 different versions of like mini enemies, like mini bosses, or bosses, I should say.
There is basically 5 bosses.
Yeah. You got the V-Rex at the beginning, 2 bats, and then there's 3 more V-Rexes at the end of the level.
By having it slammed off the cliff, by the way, we skip a little roar animation, which saves a little bit of time, but it's not a huge deal.
Fringe.
Yeah?
Because the bats are smaller than the V-Rex, would you say they're mini bosses?
Well, it depends. The regular sized bats, yes. The queens, no.
Although then you'd say that Jack's always fighting mini bosses then too, you know?
Well, no, only for Kong.
It's a different perspective. Now, here's a rather unrealistic section. Kong should have been cooked alive being this close to lava, but you know, he is the king. And here we have a rather annoying section where you have to try and throw Rexes off a cliff.
It's the most rewarding though.
Okay, grab it, hopefully throw it off. That one worked. Let's see, hopefully this one charges at me. It's not so bad when it's just one because you can stun it and grab it again, but if there's multiple, then unfortunately, Kong will try to grab the other one. Okay, let's hopefully see if it'll charge towards me.
You'll lure it over.
No, but that's okay. Ow. And there we go.
Nice.
That's all them done with, and that is the last of the V-Rex, well, the adult Rexes that you will see in this game.
Well, autonomy is Fringe. You killed them all. You killed the entire adult population of the V-Rexes.
Got enough magazines.
I thought I told you.
This is a small island.
And I think more come. I think you see more.
You're safe.
The teenagers. They're avenging their families' deaths.
Here's an interesting mechanic, by the way. While you're getting attacked by a Venatosaurus, if you shoot it with a sniper rifle, you can somehow get an OHKO. Okay, so Hayes is dead.
R.I.P. in peace, Hayes.
Watch this. It'll go to attack me. And for some reason you can one-shot it, and that's a lot faster than just killing them both. And as you saw then, I was also able to shoot one off the cliff.
Just come back.
So you can go straight to the door opening. So it's actually an advantage to get attacked here.
He's gonna try and land on the lake. I'm sure of it.
There's 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to play it a bit riskier. I'm going to try the run ahead way. But there's different ways you can do this. Now this is a level where Jimmy's AI can possibly cost you a run.
This is probably the worst level for Jimmy AI.
I'm going to run ahead. I'm going to go through here. Hopefully try to get Jimmy's AI to go through here.
Someone said he's dying and Jack only cares about magazines, and that's so
It's true. Like, he keeps saying that he's low on magazines.
That was okay, that didn't go right, actually.
Damn, a whole family there.
Yep.
Whole crew.
I had to kill
Oh my
one.
God.
Here's what my intention was. I would have ran up ahead.
Sorry, my cat just parkoured onto my desk and scared the hell out of me.
Oh. Alright, Prophet, what's your cat's name?
Mary Jane, which is actually handy because Spider-Man's after this, so
True. Ah,
Okay.
foreshadowing.
very foreshadowing. Oh yeah, we can come back to speedrun now. Sorry, we just got distracted by a cat.
Yeah. What game is this again? Oh yeah, King Kong.
Oh yeah, King Kong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I've never had a Venatosaurus go that far close.
Burn him. Nice.
Okay, they're both there. Where is
Brendan,
Jimmy?
you just went through the fire there. You could say you're going through the fire and the flames and you carry on.
Don't get it. Right,
It's a song.
Jimmy is here. Okay, I think we might have a situation where Jimmy will fail us.
Yeah, he lives there pretty well. Like that's
his hut.
That's his new house pretty well.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on,
Oh no,
Jimmy.
he come out.
He's came out. Let's see if we go to the plane.
Come on,
Title
Jim.
drop. Oh yes, come on, Jimbo.
Yes, nice. This is probably the best plane to the plane I've ever seen.
But it's also the riskiest.
Got enough magazines.
Now sometimes Jimmy won't move, so you have to reload the level and you'll lose a lot of time.
I'm just starting to think, like, I've been watching this run so far, and Jimmy's been really good for you guys. Like, I just think you're just making up lies.
No.
I mean, that is a very good point. Okay, now I'm going to carry fire over into the next level. This isn't an essential fire skip, this just makes things slightly faster.
Someone asked if you can cook the speared enemies, and you cannot. They fall off the spear if you try to singe them.
Damn, so we can't have a kebab.
No, you can't have like a roasted widgety grub or dragonfly.
The point then?
Running ahead, as always, running ahead. Now there are some bushes that you have to burn in this level. You can save a little bit of time by bringing fire over from to the plane, but it's not the end of the world if you can't manage. Because, again, it's not a fire skip technically. Throw the fire over there. Avoid the mini wrecks. Running here for cover while we wait. Throw another fire spear at it. Oh, and it walked into the bushes, so it's actually done it itself.
Ah, nice. Who wants barbecue?
Oh, spiders. Hope there's no arachnophobes watching.
Okay, it's
And
a good
here's a little
thing
fun one.
he mentioned magazines again.
That was a rather neat trick, actually. Can you explain that by any chance, Prophet?
So for some weird reason, on the edge it like lifts you and then pushes you off, so then you have enough room to then clear the gap to get back into the water. Otherwise, you're gonna have to try and navigate that area and dodge the V-Rex at the same time. I've died multiple times there where the V-Rex has killed you, and then this one's kind of hard because we're moving so quickly that the checkpoint will put you back to the start of the level as well. So kind of any deaths in this level is like really, really time costly.
That's right.
Alright, that's good. French, got some good news. You've just been informed you've got enough magazines.
That is good. Now, this is the last level in which you have the opportunity to use guns, so we will unfortunately not have any more status on magazines.
Unless you cheat, but yeah.
Yeah, but we're not cheating.
No, imagine cheating, gosh.
I don't need to cheat, and also I can't because the PC version,
Yuck.
we haven't figured out the inputs.
Yeah, so on the console version, you can get a cheat menu up, which allows you to do the, become invincible, unlimited ammo, any gun. But on the PC version, we haven't figured out the inputs to get up the cheat menu. Even plugging in a controller and doing it that way also, doesn't work either, so.
As you can see, Kong isn't even sleeping there. His eyes are wide open.
With eyes wide open.
I guess that's the life on Skull Island. It's so dangerous that the animals have adapted to sleeping with their
Yes.
eyes open.
Sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah, and he's got that big beer belly.
Look at all the stuff around him. Be eating good.
Yeah, he's essentially sleeping on the bones of his family. Can you imagine that? If we had a human who slept with the bones of their family, we'd get them sectioned. Now, this is an enemy that you only fight as Kong. These are giant worms or snakes. We're going to shoulder bash them. But also, you can do an equal amount of damage with just a regular punch. I'm very lucky that one glitched out a bit there, because otherwise it would have crawled away. That would have lost a lot of time. We kill the first one, throw it away, and move immediately into Fury mode. Now you want to be careful with the shoulder charge, because if you do it too hard, you can actually knock them off the map, which doesn't strictly kill them, so you'll just be waiting for them to return, and that can be really annoying. But that was actually a perfect attempt. That was pretty much as close to perfect as you can get with that level, so that's good.
Yeah, you can pick up one of the first worms and knock one of the ones coming out of the wall out of bounds, but like Fringe said, sometimes it's kind of 50-50 chance whether or not it dies or not.
Now, here's an interesting fun fact about this level. It is possible to lose a run to this level. How so? Well, this has only happened once, but while I was on a 154 pace, I was actually falling through the level for some odd reason. And it's a checkpoint lock, so there's absolutely no way of getting out of it, and it cost me a 154, which was really disheartening. But this is a bit of a layback section, so any other interesting questions to bring up?
Thank you.
People in the chat are saying that you're on pretty good pace, but you can't get world record because he's paused the timer.
You're coming to get me.
Pretty well.
I didn't know
It's an invalid run.
He also died a few times, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and follow us all the way.
This isn't even at my best.
You can bet your life on it.
What do you want to do?
Let him be. Stop treating him like a
You're doing really well, though.
Stop making him
Yeah.
Thank
So you
you.
hate to see him on his
We should all
best.
get off this island as fast as we can, Jack. We don't belong here.
What made you want to start running the game?
What made me want to start running was because I watched Swedes doing the inferior rise of Kong, and it made me almost nostalgic for this one. And I just decided, okay, I'll give it a go. And I didn't expect to get as good as I did, but you know, now I am second place for any percent and first place for most other categories. Now here's another interesting part, actually. I think it's because of my sheer love of this game and my intimate knowledge of it. Okay, we're going to ignore these animals fighting, and we're going to do a rather weird bush skip. There is an edge of these bushes that we have to burn, and we just pulled that off perfectly. With diagonal walking and careful fidgeting, you can just immediately go through and skip the entire level. But yeah, anyway, I think having such an intimate love and knowledge of this game is what allowed me to get into speedrunning it, and also to optimize some of these levels.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is our last proper level as Jack, where we fight enemies. It's not too
Well, even
hard,
now
but it can be scary.
This section of the game is kind of just going back through levels that we played at the beginning of the game. So
Okay, the
but then
Venatosaurus
it's
came
slightly
quickly here.
changed.
Bring some fire over. And this is a section where it can be done. We just run ahead, ignore all the enemies, and as long as you don't get attacked, chances are Anne won't die. There is a chance that Anne dies here, but I think if you get, I think it depends on how quick you are. We just run ahead. Kong will run past. We'll go through these bushes.
There's actually a way you can skip this if you hug the right, but this you have to be really, really quick.
I think I'll have to try that another time, actually, because I wasn't aware of it until now. I could probably,
true. Yeah, no, you
probably
can
optimize it, but you know.
You gotta walk, go through the right and like you hug it and you can just cut through. But there's like a bit like the other bush where there's like a tiny section you can walk through.
This is not so much a fire skip as more so it just makes things faster. This is back to the village, where bringing fire over can just make it ever so slightly faster, but you know, you're not still on fire. Burn these bushes, then those ones over there. and just for the fun of it, burn some of these other ones because, like I said, I don't like grass. I don't want to touch grass. I will burn it.
Most gamers do hate grass. We don't like going outside.
No.
Like, why would we go outside? You know, it's cold, it's wet, it's miserable. That's also just the UK in general. But inside, you know, you can be warm, be cozy.
We're just going to wait for Anne.
Jack, look.
How do you feel about sand?
This is where it all started.
Sounds alright. You can make castles. You
Irritating.
can make
It's
castles.
everywhere.
And you can bury yourself in the sand and just be the head in the beach.
Something's not right. Let's hurry up and get through here before anyone sees
I
us.
don't think I could do that. I wouldn't
It's our
trust
only
anyone
chance
to dig
get
me
back
out.
to the ship.
Nah, that's the fun. You gotta try and get out. It's the survival instinct.
And plus, in the UK, aren't all your beaches like gravel anyway?
No, there's some good beaches. There's in Wales we have one, Barry Island. That's a good beach.
Our beaches are fine as long as you don't mind brown water.
It's like our rivers.
There's something.
I mean, you've got a city called
What is
Gold
it you wanna
Coast.
tell me?
Yeah, it's a
But
bit of a party city.
I got one thing to say, Fringe, and that's the fact that Wales is so great they made a second Wales in Australia. New South
you won.
Wales.
Yeah. Why just south, I wonder? Okay, that was
Because
not
South Wales is
Alaska.
the best Wales. But then again, North Wales does have Wrexham and Brian Reynolds there now, so honestly, it's slightly better.
The New South Wales.
Yes.
Swing, swing. Now you have to kill all the natives here, otherwise they will throw a spear at you, and that will stop you opening the door.
Or look at you with spears in their hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so if Fringe didn't kill them, they would just pretty much bombard you as soon as you attempted to open the door.
Let's get going. Hurry!
Also, I just thought about now. Sorry, I've never like North Wales and things like Wrexham and Brian Reynolds and stuff. Fun fact: there is a Welsh Deadpool outfit outside the Wrexham Stadium. It's a missed opportunity because there's an actual town not far from Wrexham called the Welsh Pool, where it's also a missed opportunity of Brian Reynolds buying the Welsh Pool team. Just the random stuff.
He hasn't thought of maybe email him.
Yeah, let me just quickly go and email Ryan Reynolds. Hey Ryan, we haven't talked
Message you
for a
on
while.
Instagram.
Ow.
So this is the last level on, I guess technically second last level on Skull Island, because you have the...
If you actually stand over
Jack as
here
well.
for some odd reason, the dialogue moves a lot faster.
Are you nuts, Carl? End with him. Don't worry. We'll be fine. Keep it up, boys.
I don't know why, but for some reason standing there makes the dialogue move a bit faster, although you have to move out of it if you want to get this cutscene.
It's working.
And now Kong goes for a nap, and I think this is now technically the last
We did.
Skull Island level, but
It is the last Kong level and the last Skull Island level. Sorry, it's the last Jack level.
last Jack level, yeah.
What have you done?
And we never see what happens to Jack after this.
Don't worry.
He
He's not gonna die.
goes to the Burger
Goes-
King that's on the island and gets himself a Whopper.
The whole world
Oh my God.
paid to see this.
It tells
I mean,
you it wasn't the aeroplane.
You could just as well say that because you don't see him again, that Jack
Broadway.
might have been left behind.
The eighth wonder of the world.
Because if you actually look at the film, Jack was forced to sleep in the animal cabin. Well, you know that.
Now, what?
It's a big ape.
In the, you know, he comes back to New York because in the, there's a 100% category where you save Kong. It's like a save Kong %.
That's right,
And
actually.
Jack flies a plane around and then shoots down other planes.
I'm going to
See, that's
show
what
you
happens with the power of the Whopper.
your eyes have
Does time permit us to show that ending off,
He
or...?
was a king in the world he knew, but he comes
Yeah, you should definitely have time for that.
About like
Ladies and gentlemen,
1 hour 45,
I give you
currently.
the eighth wonder of
Yeah, go for it.
That's not
Okay, this is the annoying level because the spotlights, Kong will lock onto them. But you really just want to rampage through as fast as you can.
This also differs from the film where in the film you're in a theatre, where this is just like a sideshow alley type thing.
Yeah, someone in chat just posted, you can save Kong, and said that's so cool.
We have to surround it.
That's the best ending.
Yes.
Just rampage through the streets of New York as fast as we can.
Don't let him get away. He's going towards the Empire State Building. Block his way.
There is a part here where you're trying to climb the building, and sometimes I've had the issue with it where he climbs but then jumps off for some weird reason. And
That is very
it's like an endless cycle. It is, especially, it's actually killed one of my. The last time I did it, I had a PB, it pretty much killed it. I would have had like sub 2. And then I ended up having like 2 minutes flat, 2 hours flat. So otherwise it'd been like a 159.
See, nowadays a 159 would be considered not bad, but for me, it wouldn't even be worth a consideration.
Yeah, but I haven't fucking run this game properly in ages, so.
You should get back into it.
Preferring my Pokemans at the moment, you know, and pocket monsters.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I reached this level for the first time back in the day, I would have thought there was an entire section dedicated to climb the Empire State Building. But it makes sense not to have it because who would actually want to do that?
Yeah, it just happens in the cutscene, that's how we have it.
Now,
So this was the level, was pretty much where the difficulty comes into it. So because Fringe has died a few times, he's actually got more health on top of the tower where if you played it completely deathless, I'm pretty sure the planes would probably kill you within like 2 or 3 hits.
I actually don't think it'll be a problem here. The aim here, because you're obviously going for the regular engine, is you want to die as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you want the planes to hit you pretty well. As a kid, I would try to survive here as long as we can, as long as you could. So
I think everyone did.
we should make that a category, see if we can like see how long you survive here for.
No, I think that did take less damage. And I've actually lost 20 seconds to this just because of that. But this plane should unload onto us. And once you get it from this particular angle, you know that's Kong's final blow.
Also, time's coming up as well, so.
I don't know if we will have time to show off the alternative ending then. Are you sure? Shouldn't take
Got the go ahead. You've got the go ahead. I think people want to see, and if they say whiz cut,
people want to see. People want Kong to be safe.
You're so fine. You can absolutely show that off.
Okay.
Beauty killed the beast.
I haven't done it for a while, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Also, Carl here says it was Beauty who killed the beast, which is like such a serious way of just avoiding all responsibility.
No, Fringe, what you don't understand is that's what the gun was called. It was called Beauty. And
the planes were called.
Yeah, it was the Beauty Squadron. Because they were fabulous.
And someone was saying they were trying to survive as long as they could on the log level, which is something I also try to do.
I've tried that as well. Okay, now usually, that's the end
time,
of
by the way.
it. That'd be the end of any percent. That'd be where you see the end of your time. It's up to you whether you want to watch the credits, but obviously, just because I've been granted a bit of extra time, yes, we finished the King Kong game.
Good job, Fringe.
Yes, since there is demand for it, we're going to show off the alternative ending. Just because there's demand for it, well, that's in the extras.
So you pretty much just play the level we just played again, but this time now the aim is to survive as long as we can.
I think there is an optimal way of doing it. I don't think it's random.
No, so if you stand on the back side of the pillar, I'm pretty sure you're immune from damage from all directions except from the left.
I think you have to kill a certain amount of planes and survive for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So the only even drop memory on this, it's been like so long to actually play through this. So this will be unlocked by like earning points through the game as you're like casually playing through it, wouldn't you?
Specifically, you'd have to complete the game and earn 250,000 points. That's a specific goal.
Yeah, and then also throughout when you're trying to accrue these points, you lose points by the number of ammo you spend, spears thrown, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
I always did take issue with that, actually, because there's no other way of defending yourself in this game as Jack. Like, it rewards you for... There's no other way to kill enemies, but it punishes you for your means. This was unavoidable because I was getting swarmed from two different angles.
You're pretty much, pinned.
And I think this is roughly the point where it begins.
As long as you remember how to control the plane. That's the...
Okay, yeah, this is where it changes.
You also notice that Jack's model in the aeroplane is just like a black silhouette because there actually isn't a proper character model for him.
The old days of like having like low poly textures and all that stuff because obviously most of the time couldn't process that stuff. Memories.
His character model is just mostly forearms.
That's all you need.
So this isn't Fringe taking damage here either. This is Kong taking damage. That's why the screen's
fast. I managed to
red.
destroy those search lights really quickly.
Yeah, speedrun.
Yeah.
Jeez, do be
I think you just got to try to shoot down as many planes as you can before Kong decides to climb down the tower.
There's a third one here.
Also, Prophet, or a question.
Yes.
You know you said you can only see you can see 4 arms, but I only see 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the search lights.
I'm gonna slap you.
It's a one-man army.
We did it, Jack. He made it.
No, it's a 4-man army. What do you mean?
Do you know what, though?
Oh
There's
my
actually a
gosh.
glitch in the game where you can see his legs, because his legs are a separate model when he gets attacked. But yeah, you complete that ending, you allow Kong to get saved and climb down the tower. They somehow manage to capture him again, and now he's placed back on Skull Island. And you treated this rather wholesome, bittersweet cutscene.
Very wholesome.
Bit bittersweet because he is the last of his kind and everything does want to kill you there, but you know, at least he gets to live a natural life. Well, I say natural life, but he's a social animal without any other members of his kind left. It's a miserable existence.
That's why he latched onto Anne pretty well.
Is there any other final questions in the comments?
Actually, I did see someone ask earlier if Jimmy dies in the movie based off of his
No, unfortunately.
Karmic retribution isn't a thing in the Kong films.
Jimmy's
Although
just going through it.
Although the last we see of Jimmy, he's
Yeah.
kind of not passed out in Jack's arms in the water.
No, because they get knocked from the boats or something like that. Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's the game.
Yep, that was Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. Any percent, with the bonus added on at the end of the alternative ending. That was a lot faster than I expected. The alternative ending.
GG.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope it was fun. This was my first GDQ submission. I hope it was as fun for everyone else as it was for me. Thank you Swede for joining me. Thank you, Prophet, for joining me. Thank you, Nichole, for hosting.
Of course.
And,
If you have any
yes.
shout outs or anything, feel free. Tell people where to find you. The floor is yours for that.
Oh yeah, well obviously shout out to Sweet Ola for not only joining me on the commentary, but also for getting me into this game by speedrunning the inferior Kong. Shout out to Prophet for joining me on the commentary, and also for giving me his previous submission, so I had an idea of how it works. And is that all?
Just like, if you're interested in running this game, go on speedrunner.com. We do have a Discord where between me, Fringe, and other members of the community can help you get into running this game. So please check us out. Find us on Discord. Also, shout out to my friends at the O2 Drop as well. So.
Oh yeah, and if you want to see me speedrun this game sometime, you can follow me at twitch.tv/FringeStallion. And I'll occasionally run this game, try going grinding for a world record any percent. And yes, that is pretty much the end of that. That is pretty much me done for the day.
Good job, Fringe.
So yes, thank you once again.
The GG Fringe.
Of course. Thank you so much. Chat, hang out. Welcome back to GDQ Hotfix as seen on TV. I'm Nichole Goodnight. That was an amazing run of King Kong. And we are going to actually stay within the realms of New York City as we dive into our next game ran by Spyron. Spider-Man. Spyron, the show is yours.
Lovely. Wow. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, everyone. This is Spider-Man 2000. I am Spyron. I will be your runner this evening or this morning. It's 2 a.m. for me, so I don't know what time to call it necessarily. But I'm here to run Spider-Man 2000 for you all. This is a game most of you will probably know from your younger days playing on the PlayStation. I feel like a lot of people play this game. It's got a couple of versions of the game, actually. You don't just have to play on PlayStation. There's a Dreamcast copy, a Nintendo 64 copy, which I didn't know existed because that didn't come out over here. That was an American thing, and a PC copy as well. But enough about me initially, enough about the game. I'm also joined by the lovely, lovely Chuck Nicey. Chuck Nicey, if you want to introduce yourself as well, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chuck Nicey. I also run this game, and I am not nearly high on the leaderboard as Spyron here, but I'm just glad to be here.
Lovely. I'm very happy that you are here because I feel like you are the man for this job to lead us all through the story of this game and the tricks of this game that I will probably forget to explain. So I'm very excited to have you here. So yeah, I guess first things first to initially kind of introduce what we're doing. This will be an any percent run and any percent on the easy difficulty, which is the most common version of the game to run. That means skips, tricks, everything is allowed, which you'll see plenty of, especially in like kind of the second half of the game. It's going to be very exciting if you're an enjoyer of tricks and skips and glitches and out of bounds and all sorts of things. Lots of that coming. First things first, I guess to introduce as well, is that we have 3 costume options technically in the game if you're running any percent easy. 3 costumes that don't give you any extra spider powers. And so in honor of Chuck Nicey being here, we're going to run in the Ben Reilly costume.
Hooray!
Exactly. And then I guess we'll get started. We'll explain what we're doing as we're going along. But hopefully you're in for a good ride. This is a nice, quick speedrun. I think a good one as well. You might see if anyone's wanting to learn a speedrun in particular. This was my first speedrun game that I learned going on like 2 years ago now. And I now hold the world record for the hardware copy of this game, which is fantastic. Not to brag. But so we'll get started anyway, and we'll explain what we're doing. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off. So the main crux of this game and the way this game works in order to go fast is down to movement. So straight away, we'll be swinging across buildings and things like that. And the swinging is really the main mechanic that Spider-Man will be using to maneuver through the levels. Most levels basically get from point A to point B as fast as possible. So for example, in this level, all we have to do is hit the skyscraper just at the end of this, which we'll do by performing a few little kind of movement tricks just to be able to navigate around this building faster than we would normally. Normally, casually, if you play this game, you climb over some buildings and go to this building here. This is a nice, little fast way. Not only does Spider-Man have the ability to swing, but he has the ability to like zip to things as well. We'll be doing a lot of explaining of kind of the web mechanics as well. And then very quickly to explain as we're going to here, Spider-Man also has web moves that he can incorporate into his arsenal when it comes to defeating the various bad guys around, which you'll see 2 of right now. So this first one is the web dome, and this is a web ball. And there we go. And that's all the enemies defeated, and they've been blown off the roof, and it's as quick as that. So there you go. So, Chuck, Spider-Man has many moves, wall crawling, firing web balls. Do you know that he can phase through walls? Do you want to explain about that?
Oh, absolutely. Secret superpower of Spider-Man is that he has a hitbox that's about the size of a piece of paper, like the thickness of a piece of paper, and that allows him to completely go through certain walls at certain corners, causing the levels to deload like this, and causing some enemies and some of these hostages here that he needs to get to disappear, even though they technically still exist. And on the easy mode, if he just barely like graces by the hostages or like aggroes some of the enemies, that counts as freeing the hostages here on easy mode. So he goes through that level quite quickly, and he's going to be doing a little bit more of this secret spider power of phasing through walls here in just a second.
Absolutely. Doors, guys, ever heard of him? Spider-Man hasn't. There we go. We're through that. And we're in the next room.
Spider-Man doesn't believe in doors.
No, absolutely not. And why should he when he can just pass through them as easily as that? Would you believe in doors if you had that power? I'm
Never.
not sure you would.
Never.
No, exactly. So the good thing about that certain trick as well, by glitching through this door, it also opens this bomb, this bank vault here, which allows us to throw the bomb in without having to open the door first, which is normally done by pressing this button. There we go. But by pressing the button as the bomb is being thrown into the vault, it counts as the door closing and the level ending, essentially. So it saves a lot of time instead of opening various doors and doing all sorts of various things. It just saves us, plenty of time. And we're going to go fast. This is a speed run, guys. We want to go fast. So anything that'll save us time is excellent. So Chuck, we've not really covered the story of this game so far. We're not very far in, but I think this is a good place potentially as we're swinging kind of to the Daily Bugle now to save J. Jonah Jameson to explain what it is exactly that's been going on in the game.
So basically, the beginning of the game starts with Spider-Man being framed for stealing a bit of technology from a science expo. And while Spider-Man would love to look into that as soon as possible, he keeps getting sidetracked by stuff. First, we had a bank robbery that sidetracks him. Now it's like nighttime, and Scorpion's trying to take down J. Jonah Jameson. We'll see a little bit later on that Venom gets involved a bit because he thinks Spider-Man is guilty. So it's not really until about halfway through this game that we start engaging with the main plot of the game. He just keeps getting sidetracked. And speaking of Scorpion, we're about to get into the Scorpion fight, which can be deceptively aggravating depending on Jonah's behavior.
Ooh, we've got potentially a good run here. So what we're trying to do is defeat Scorpion in one cycle before J. Jonah Jameson can run through the door, which we have done. Excellent. Normally what happens is he'd run through that door, you've got to wait for an entire cutscene to play, and you have to wait for Scorpion to smash through the door, go into the next room. It's an unskippable cutscene, so you have to wait for it. But by performing a kick-kick-punch combo, which you'll see very commonly used throughout basically the entire game, whenever it comes to fighting bosses or enemies, generally kick-kick-punch is the way to go. By doing that fast, with the web gloves on as well, which is another web move, web gloves to deal extra damage, we actually can beat him with 4 cycles, essentially, like 4 moves. So we can do that very fast, and now we're kind of in the green, foggy mist of New York City as the police decide, you know what, Spider-Man, you are guilty for stealing that piece of technology, and so in retaliation, we're just going to nuke the entire city, which is a very reasonable response, I think, from the NYC. So, yeah, Chuck, please explain why they do think that this is a good idea.
Why they think that shooting down Spider-Man with all these missiles is a good idea? They probably think Spider-Man's caused this fog, even though it's definitely Doc Ock. But Doc Ock has a really good reason. You see, Doc Ock understands the hardware limitations of the PlayStation and knows that we can't actually view the street view from this high up. So he's kind enough to put some fog through New York City so that we're not chugging along at 5 frames per second. And
as a nice guy, really, honestly.
You know what? Maybe he really is reformed, like he appears at the beginning of the game. You may have missed it there, but we saw a bit of optimizations there in one of the only sort of auto scrollers in the game. Getting up that building is one of the slowest parts of this entire game, and yet we make it faster by being able to zip up halfway through each floor and doing a few cheeky zips to save even more time trying to crawl across the ceiling, because as cool as it is that Spider-Man can crawl, it is one of the slowest ways that he moves, second only to running. or rather,
Indeed,
running is a little bit faster than crawling.
Yeah, so you can see we got hit by the police chopper there, so we did take a bit of a fall, which means we have to crawl all the way up that building, which is a bit slower, but that is fine. Continue on without falling into the green mist, which is ideal. We get to the next building, and now, Chuck, we come to a very exciting point, a trick that was discovered really not that long ago. We've talked about Spider-Man, climbing walls, being able to use webs. We've talked about him being able to glitch through walls and ignore doors. Can you tell me about this other power that we're about to bear witness to?
Did you guys know that Spider-Man can fly?
Absolutely
It's true.
not.
We'll do Absolutely. For the kids at home.
Oh, please actually make it. Thank you. So, by placing yourself on that wall there and looking for a point directly above you or in front of you from Spider-Man's point of view, you can activate what's called a flying spider fly, pretty fly for a spider guy, however you want to put it. And Spider-Man practically flies. And as you saw there, it gets us straight to the level trigger, but you can't stay there too long or you'll actually time yourself out. This game, if it notices you've been falling for more than 8 seconds, I think, it just automatically restarts the level. And speaking of ending the levels, Spyro is...
A bit scared. Hold on. We're going to target him more because I don't want to fall
this in practice too.
Yeah. It's scary.
Through a lot of swing optimizations, we are already moving on to the Rhino boss fight because, yeah, Spider-Man's got to get sidetracked by Rhino as well on his way to figure out who has framed him for the Science Expo heist. And now,
indeed, here we go.
Go ahead.
What you've just witnessed there is this is the easiest way, in theory, to defeat Rhino as fast as possible. There is the option of doing the kick punch with the web gloves to defeat him, but this optimization was found wherein if you kind of jump inside Rhino's hitbox and just do like instant web domes, which you can do by holding down the buttons normally that you'd use to activate the web dome, which is triangle and right on your D-pad. But then if you hold down punch or kick at the same time, it instantly pops those web domes. Normally he'd sit there and like hide in a dome before popping them. So what we do is just continuously do those inside of his hitbox, and that just like absolutely shreds his health, which is excellent. Want to go fast? And speaking of going fast, Venom is trying to go fast, but he's not as fast as us as we try and swing our way through this level. This is essentially, again, kind of like a semi-auto scroller in a sense, because we can't, you'll notice that bar at the top of the screen. If Venom gets too far away from us, as in Spider-Man's little character model there at the top of the screen, gets too far to the left side, we will lose Venom and we have to start the level again, which we're going to try and avoid. Generally, we're going faster than Venom anyway, and we go to specific points on that kind of construction site just to trigger him moving between the certain spots to be able to jump into this cutscene. Which is an excellent cutscene, by the way. I feel like we should just kind of sit silently and just bear witness to this cutscene, if that's okay. So everyone, just please pay attention.
Ow, my head! Ow, my head!
His head.
Yeah, look out, lady.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh, sorry, lady. Didn't see a thing.
Let me tell you right now, even if you don't speedrun this game, I encourage you to play this game casually at least once, because Venom alone, as a character, is one of the best parts about this game, bar none. Every single cutscene, almost every single voice line that he has, just absolutely cements that he is Spider-Man's bully, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever hear in this game.
Yeah, this fully like embraces the kind of Venom like anti-hero, but it becomes like it's honestly just hilarious. Like, if you've never played this game, if you played this game before, you know exactly what we're talking about. But if you've never played this game before, it's incredible, and it's a shame really that we have to skip a lot of the cutscenes wherein Venom speaks, because he has some great lines. Surf the Web, obviously a classic. If you know the game, we will be skipping that cutscene sadly, so we won't get to hear that. But in the meantime, as fun and as nice of a guy as Venom is, we are going to have to beat him up a little bit here. So this is the first of 2 Venom boss fights. He turns invisible and then will reappear as I scuff that combo a little bit. That's fine. So all we're doing here is waiting for him to reappear and then hitting him with the, oh my days, the kick punch combo that in theory should be a lot faster than what I'm doing here, but I'm just whiffing it a little bit, which is fine. Oh, nice spawn. There we go, got him.
This is a game that taught me that Venom can turn invisible, which is something I've seen in almost no Spidey media since. So I had no idea that he could turn invisible.
Yeah. So I don't know if they just like added that to the game or if that is actually like canon somewhere. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like the invisibility part of his power set is very, very rare, it seems, to be mentioned. I've never seen that anywhere. Right, we've made our way now to the sewers. We're chasing Venom through the sewers. This is quite a scary area, just because if we fall, again, similar to outside, where if we fall into the kind of the black void below, we will die and have to restart the level. So we try and avoid that. We swing under the pipes there for the best kind of route to be able to save the most time. But obviously that's scary because if you miss any of the swings, you will just fall into the void and then it's kind of game over. You've got to start that level again. But we avoid that, which is brilliant. And then we just hit these lizards. Now there's lizards, by the way, just in the sewers. We hit them with the web balls, defeat them as quickly as possible. And we continue to chase Venom through the sewers. Now, and Chuck, this is a cool level. Do you want to tell everyone about God Pipes?
So this level, Sewer Cavern, we affectionately call God Pipes because, as you may have noticed, when Spyron swings around, he actually cuts off the 2-swing max animation in order to start a new 2-swing string. And what we do here with God Pipes is you're meant to stop on these pipes, aim, and then move on to the next pipe by aiming at it. But some of our best runners can actually go through that entire segment without actually touching any pipes whatsoever, completely swinging through until they reach the end of that tunnel. And now we're on our way to Subway, the biggest auto-scroller in the game.
Yeah, this is essentially a 2-minute long auto-scroller where we're just sat on this train. There's nothing really we can do about being sat on this train. Lizards are going to come and try and attack us. But what we're going to do is if I just continue to jump now until this lizard turns like that and inside my character model, I can just kind of face this way so it doesn't hit me as often, put my controller down, go get a drink, go to the toilet, go to the shop, whatever I like. I literally just can put the controller down. This is a nice, easy moment of rest, really, before we get into what we kind of call the gauntlet, which is every level after this, where every level after this point has some sort of skip or trick that you want to hit if you want to get top times, essentially. So we're obviously going to try and hit them all. We'll see how successful we are with those. We shall see. But yeah, we're kind of sat here basically until that train gets all the way to the right-hand side, although there is a small optimization that we can use to end it slightly earlier. But by slightly earlier, I mean literally maybe on the last 2 kind of like ticks you can see of the train track there. So yeah, we're just kind of sat here. Chuck, I wanted to ask you during this part is, for those who don't know...
1,000 times yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so myself and Chuck very recently just became fathers for the first time, which is very exciting. Chuck, I've been thinking about this for my young boy. What would be the first game that you allow your new child to play? Like, what would be the first game ideally you'd introduce them to and let them play?
Gosh, well, if I wanted to sort of reflect my first games I really connected with, it's going to be this, for one. I spent so much time with this. Another one's going to be like Crash Bandicoot 2, I think.
That's a good choice.
I spent so much time in Crash Bandicoot 2, even though I never got past like the second warp room in there. Yeah. Otherwise, man, that's really hard to say. I imagine Super Mario Galaxy would probably be another good one, I think.
It's a good shout. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. My thoughts were, the earliest games I remember playing that aren't like Duck Hunt or like things like that I used to play when I used to go to like my grandma's house and stuff. Sure. It's like the Sonic games, like classic Sonic games, I feel like very, very good for just like not really having to know what you're doing. You just kind of hold down right and just get running. And so I feel like that's a nice introduction potentially to video games for a young child. Don't know. I'm sure everyone watching has their opinions as we... Essentially, this is what I was talking about now, where we end the train, you can see slightly early. By knocking all the lizards off at a certain point in time, we can end the level just slightly earlier, where the lizards just stop spawning for whatever reason. That was a little strat that was discovered. So we're here now. It's the gauntlet, and Chuck, I'm going to kind of let you explain as we go along here for a lot of these levels, just because it kind of goes by quite quick. So I will concentrate on hitting the skips. You tell everyone what's going to happen.
And here's that first skip coming up now. As soon as this little in-game cutscene ends, Spider-Man is once again going to ignore doors and go straight through that door and turn the switch to lower this water. Which, by the way, on the PlayStation version, if your pinky toe even touches water, you are dead. You are straight up dead. No matter how deep the water is, you will automatically get this sort of drowning animation from Spider-Man where he looks like he's just falling deeper into the water. And here on, I believe it's hidden switches, we're going to go... we're going to clip through that wall there. It's slip behind those generators and hit the level trigger at the back there, leading us into Tunnel Crawl, which is the bane of most new runners' existence. Because, like I mentioned, the water is very finicky, and if you even touch it, you are dead. And the fastest way we go through is by dropping from the ceiling, hoping to get a web zip, and saving ourselves with a zip up if that doesn't work. With the goal being to try to get to the very end of this tunnel by the end of this first cycle of the water rising and falling. Now, luckily, Spider-Man's gotten through the first half of this, but if you remember from earlier in that police chase, we did a spider fly. And we're going to see this again. This is the second and last level we're going to see spider fly, where our goal here is to try to float up over the wall here, even though it looks like it extends forever, and go straight to the loading trigger right there.
Nice.
Completely skipping a scene where we have to hit a switch to lower the water and hit a switch to open the door to that level. Now, I don't know if Spider-Man's going to go for it here in Venom's puzzle. Okay, we are going to do something commonly called the Fetty Fall, named after one of our runners, where we just fall to the floor because, once again, Spider-Man's hitbox is as thick as a sheet of paper, and we are going to go under the doors that you would need to open with the puzzle to get to the end. And that is a lot, and we're still not done yet because now we need to do Lizard's Maze, where we're going to take what we learned from the tunnel crawl and apply it to this longer section here where we have to try to find these sweet spots to zip through to get through to a certain point, while also avoiding these crushers at certain points. That should be the only crusher we need to worry about here in any percent. But we are going to make our way to this far wall here, where once again Spider-Man says, I don't like walls. Let's just go through them. And we're going to skip almost the entire maze to get to the end. You are doing a slightly different version of this, where we're going to skip the level trigger in-game cutscene. I completely forgot about that. That's not a common one. That's definitely a top runner move right there. And now we are into Venom 2, where this would have originally been a lizard boss fight. It was cut for time, and instead they decided to put Venom here twice. The whole point here is to try to make sure Mary Jane doesn't drown from having the water rising on her using these switches. Venom will hit the switches if we get bad spawns, but if all goes well, we should be able to finish off this fight in 3
really nice
turns.
Spawns. Yes, Venom can spawn in one of 4 places. The 2 places that you saw him spawn, where it was like next to me and across from me, but also on the rafters on either side. Those are the worst 2 places to spawn.
Don't forget,
especially if you're doing the strat that we're doing.
There we go.
So, yeah, really good spawns there. We're going to continue skipping through levels now. Floors, ever heard of them? Spider-Man hasn't, because we're about to go through one.
Spider-Man doesn't like floors either. He runs slow on them. He crawls even slower across them. So instead, we're going to skip a bunch of these floors, deload the level even more, and we're just going to jump towards the level trigger that takes us to the next point. By the way, we are out of the gauntlet, but we are still doing tricks in almost each and every one of these levels leading up, including this elevator descent level, where we are going to zip to the opposite side of the wall, which for some reason throws us to
my days, I've gone too far.
To the opposite side of the wall.
This?
I certainly hope so. Oh,
hold on.
Well, that's
I've never done this before. Hold on.
Say the thing. Okay.
Nice.
There we go. We saved it.
Before. That's never happened before. We did it. Wow. Okay. Well, you can save that. It turns out, if you ever get stuck down there, targeting mode is your friend. Turns out. Excellent. Wow.
Wow. And yeah. And now we're heading on to a level with yet another skip, which we are going to take. I believe we're taking the safer route on this one.
We are indeed.
Where we destroy one of the generators, and then because we hate corners, we go through this corner and we hit the level trigger that would normally trigger if we were to destroy all 3 symbiote generators. Yes, there are just some miscellaneous symbiote generators here. It is part of the plot. No, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that symbiotes are the worst enemy to fight in this game because they are practically immune to impact webs, and the only thing that really kills them is either your web fists or the special sort of like fire web cartridges that we get. And as I say that, we completely gloss over one of the other hardest skips in this game, which is the basement skip, where you have to try to get out of bounds, make sure you only get back in at the right point in order to deload the level and get to the end game trigger as quickly as possible, so we do not have to see the Spider-Man 2K official mascot, Mike the symbiote.
Dude, a lot's happening, guys.
So much is happening right now
at once. This is Mysterio, by the way. So Mysterio was behind the tech heist the whole time. And so we're going to try and defeat him here. We stand in a certain spot on this top kind of row here where he tries to grab us, but actually our kind of character model's in the right way where you see his hand kind of phases through us. We use targeting mode to hit all the kind of glowing conduits on his body to take him down, and that's the Mysterio boss fight. It's a lot easier than it looks. I feel like a lot harder, I should say, than it looks. That can be quite tricky because Mysterio sometimes just doesn't like to play, and he'll knock you up and down. It's all sorts of fun. But we've got through that quite smoothly. We're nearly at the end, guys. This is nearly the end of the game. We've absolutely flown through this, and it's been an absolute pleasure to show you all this game for the first time, potentially as a speedrun. But the skips aren't over. The skips aren't over. We're going to skip through this bit of wall, and now we're going to try and jump to the loading zone by letting go forward now. And in theory, there we are. We fall into the loading zone at a very exact spot by essentially we jump off that edge, we push forward until that last fan hits the top of the screen. And it's a leap. You stop pushing forward, and you're good to go, basically.
It's a leap of faith, Miles. It really is. You have to time it exactly right based on visual cues from the fans in the deloaded area. And if you get it wrong, you hit that 8-second counter I talked about a bit earlier, and the level just resets, which can waste a lot of time and probably contributes to the estimate that Spyron put in for this game. At least it would be in consideration if I were to submit this game.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot could go wrong. I mean, you've seen everyone watching all the skits that we've just gone through. We have done a really, really good job of hitting like every single one, basically. So this is a crazy, crazy pace for a run, like a marathon run at the minute. So hopefully you've got an idea of exactly like how this run kind of works in terms of the glitches and things you need to be hitting. Any one of those tricks could have gone wrong at any point. Speaking of which, this can sometimes brick your console, kind of soft lock your console. Not that I've ever had that happen to me.
Never.
You won't ever see that. No.
Never.
So, Chuck, do you want to explain what we're about to do here?
So what we're about to do here is a bit of a memory overflow, where you're supposed to hit 3 separate switches on this level, but by grabbing the fire webs and skipping certain cutscenes, we can hit the same switch 3 times, or actually 2, because of the way Spyron sort of stalled the cutscene to finish out this level. We can't skip this ending cutscene because it leads to the very end of the level. But in certain situations, if you've already done this skip on a previous run and haven't reset your console, it will cause a memory overflow, and it will hard lock the game. And you will have to take your walk of shame back to the beginning of the game and start a new run. And with that, we are heading into the boss fight with the real mastermind, the good guy who decided to save the PS1 hardware, Dr. Octopus.
Oh my goodness, who could have guessed the whole time it was him?
Indeed. We thought he was reformed when he was giving his presentation at the Science Expo. No, it turns out he decided to steal his own technology for some reason for his master plan. And with this, we are going to attempt a deceptively hard trick with this fight. We call it one cycle awk. The first part is to get all of these sort of shield generators down so that it draws power from the shield that Doc Ock is using. And then once this final shield pylon comes down, Spyron is going to time it just right, which I believe he has, and he's going to go in with these kick punches, and then he's going to web dome, and that is a one cycle awk. Yes,
incredible.
We were really looking forward to that. That is a one-cycle awk on hardware, something that is deceptively hard to do.
I was worried I wouldn't be able to show my face again if I didn't hit that in the run. So I'm really glad.
I don't think we would have been invited back to Hotfix or even GDQ itself if you had missed that. And now we are on to Carnage with one of our newest strats for this game, which is a slightly faster version of this Carnage fight, where the idea is you have to keep Carnage in this sonic bubble as much as possible. Normally, we would just keep pelting him with web balls and have him be pushed against one of the emitters, but by timing it just right, knocking him out of the bubble and drawing him back in with the web yank, the last web power we'll see, the sonic bubble never goes away. It never goes away until the fight is finally done. And with that, we are on to the very last level of this game, where Carnage, who was working with Doc Ock, fuses with Doc Ock, and we get this monstrosity. Surprise!
If anyone played this game as a child, this is probably the bit you remember the most, unless you didn't get this far in the game, which would have been understandable. This gave me nightmares, like legitimately. My mum used to hate this. The noises that he makes as he's kind of chasing you through here, my mum used to be like, this is awful, please turn this off. Nightmare fuel. And interestingly, never used again in any Spider-Man media at all after this. We see Monster Rock this one time and then just never again. And I never understood why.
Not even for any of the symbiote-centered storylines, we never see a Carnage Ock ever again. And that's really a shame, because this is terrifying. Like, some people will say that Spider-Man runs on Resident Evil tank controls. Well, if it's like Resident Evil in that respect, it's also got monsters like Resident Evil, last level is any indication. And this is technically a boss fight. This is included in our boss rush category, but the only way that you beat this boss is by racing it to the end of this level, which is a great showcase of movement tech, where Spyron is going to be continually picking the best times to swing and best times to zip forward, so that he can stay as ahead of Ock as possible. And Ock, even if he has rubber banding AI, is just going to be left in the dust in most cases. But even if Ock does get ahead, we are on easy mode. There is a generous window for Spider-Man to catch back up. But if you're a child playing, oh man, a Spider-Man game, he's so cool, the anxiety and terror you feel when Doc Ock pushes ahead of you is absolutely palpable.
Yeah, we are nearly at the end of the game, guys. So the end of the game is going to be when the screen goes black, which he's going to do just shortly. We're on level 2 now. We're just past level 2, I should say. This is level 1. During the next corridor, the time will be done as the screen goes black, which I will call very shortly as we just come around this corner. And time. There we are. Just over 20. All right, I'm pretty sure that's world record.
Wait a minute.
I think we've just had an absolutely insane run.
I'm catching up with this.
I think that's world record. If it's a low 29, I'm pretty certain it is.
Do you know what world record is?
I'm checking it right now. Let's see. Hardware.
We're verifying.
2936 is the world record.
We've smashed that then. Oh my days.
Ooh, congratulations.
Oh,
wow, you smashed that by 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you.
What an incredible run. Well, thank you, everyone, so much for joining me on this incredible journey we've just had. This is the end of the game. Captain America's here. There's Daredevil as well. He showed up in a cutscene earlier, but we skipped it. Punished also, same. Loads of characters in this game. Amazing game, playing casually. Loads of Marvel characters. But that does wrap it up. That was the run. If you're interested, please come and run this game too. It's an incredibly short run. You're looking at anywhere between I'd say 40 to 45 minutes, maybe on a first run through, but you can knock that all the way down to, like I've done here, 30 minutes if you get really good and get all the skips in. Yeah, incredible. A shout out to all the Spider-Man runners who I'm sure are watching and those who might watch later. Incredibly fantastic bunch of people, very welcoming when I first started running this game. to the community. Very helpful in getting people up and running. Just a wonderful, wonderful community of runners. If you're interested in joining a community that's just nice and friendly, I can recommend this one for sure. Shout out to the Speedruns Twitch channel, which is a Twitch channel we run, which is the home of Spider-Man Speedruns. We're hosting a marathon actually in April, which is a twist on Spider-Man runs, where it's Spider-Man runners not running any Spider-Man games. Spider-Man games are banned. So if you want to see that, twitch.tv/Speedruns, I would recommend you check that out in April. Shout out to Chuck Nicey, who's been here commentating and taking us through this run. Chuck, anything you want to plug and shout out as we wrap up here?
My channel's not active enough to really plug, but it's twitch.tv/ChuckNicey25. If you want to check it out, I'm just happy to be here. You put on a great show. I'm just happy to have been a part of it. So that's really all I got to say. Spider, fantastic work.
Yeah, damn. Once we got to Dr. Octopus and we hit the one cycle, I was like, okay, I might need to lock in here. It got a bit scary. I was like, oh my days, we might need to lock in. And we did. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this on a GDQ virtual stage in this sense. If you enjoy this kind of content, come follow my channel and check this out. I'm very notorious for saying, I'm going to run some other games, and then the stream comes on and it's just Spider-Man. So if you enjoy Spider-Man, chances are you'll see me streaming that. But otherwise, I think that pretty much wraps us up. Thank you very much, and take it back to you, Nichole.
Of course, thank you so much for being here, and also GG again. Chat, we are about to take a quick break, but real quick, if you missed out on any of our Hotfix shows or events like Back to Black, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And also, as a reminder, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix like this one. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes and chat